And I across that article.
So we're back. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I know you missed one in segment 2. This is segment 3 because we have stumbled across some intriguing things. I'll give everybody time to come back into the room who's tuning back in. Hey, Darnell. I think you can just jump in with the link. Oh, never mind. I'll put it up.
No pomegranate in there. All the way around you.
Crystal said, starting early. Okay, do you all sleep? I do, but when it's so hard to sleep when you stumble across stuff that you ain't got no business stumbling across. Yeah, so I looked at all of it. Oh, I just closed all of them.
Oh my God.
Wait. It was in here somewhere.
You got somebody's time card.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz, you there?
You got the people's time card.
Jesus. Okay.
Hey, did you see the chat?
What was it?
Alicia, she has some. She says she has information.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Let me see. And I have some information. Alicia, do you want to send it to me or do you want to come on and join us? Okay, guys, so we'll give it another 30 minutes and then we off this thing and hopefully I don't stumble across anything else. I'm trying to find the pictures I just had. I just lost them that quick. It's all right. I got them on my live. Hi, live. Hi, live. Yeah, so I don't know, you guys. I don't know what to say about. I just don't even know what to say about what I just stumbled across. But I did while you guys were talking. I made a phone call to confirm if down in Chicago they had heard about Kenneka being raped, and they sound like they weren't surprised. They said come to find out the spot that was on her stomach was semen. Yeah.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you remember when this first broke, you remember the text messages that came out? And I don't remember none of their names or nothing like that. I'm trying to find out the way they put that story together then. Was any of that correct?
Which story?
Yeah, say it again.
Okay, there were some text messages that came out. And they was talking about we raped her, but we didn't mean to kill her. Sounding like Steel from Juice. You remember what I'm talking about? I'm sorry. That's what I had in my head. I'm sorry. But you remember when he said that?
At this point, I'm starting to believe that it is somewhat true because let's just be honest. Everything that we have went through, all the videos that we have dissected on social media and YouTube have been right on point. I don't know if you were in here earlier when I read the files where they did the forensics on the live video, and they did the words. Oh yeah, they broke down the words, and from what we saw, all the words were correct. The guy came in and said, "I'm about to murder her." So here goes this is just a statement that Teresa and them from what her attorney sent to the police department.
Wow.
It says serious questions remaining regarding what happened to Kenneka Jenkins at the Crowne Plaza Hotel on September 9, 2017. Kenneka was found dead in a freezer at the Crowne Plaza Hotel more than 36 hours after her family reported her missing and told hotel staff she was somewhere on their premises. Despite requests for all evidence, we have only been provided snippets of videos, none of which show Kenneka Jenkins walking into a freezer. The family has not been provided any video or other evidence of Kenneka Jenkins walking into the freezer. Serious questions remain as to how she ended up in a Crowne Plaza hotel freezer and why it took a day and a half for the hotel to find Kenneka. Her death requires a thorough, complete, and independent investigation. The family thanks the public for their prayers, concerns, and for bringing attention to the tragedy. She has.
They not gonna give them a 2-hour episode.
I'm telling you. Now I'm over here trying to find the damn pictures I lost. It's all right. We saw them.
Hey, Jazz, can I say, can you please put together your presentation, how you had it? Because you just started your live stream over. Put together your presentation because you have so much information. And I believe that you can like narrow it down and show everybody. And I believe, and I'm sorry if you guys disagree, I believe we need to like, share, subscribe, and get the word out because you are the one breaking this and you have the information. Give yourself the credit, for real.
Who's ringing?
I don't know. I have somebody calling
Phyllis.
in. On my,
That's Phyllis.
Oh.
Oh, she's gonna need to go and click the link in the room in order to get back in here. I'll repost the link.
Okay, Black Conscious Fraud is calling, but that was the lady that was on with us earlier, right?
Is there? I don't know how to add them with them calling.
It looks like it's giving the option just to answer.
It doesn't give me that.
Oh, you don't forget about
she's
Alicia.
In.
You said Alicia, right? Don't forget about her. See what she got.
Yeah, don't forget about Alicia.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Alicia, do you want to come on, or is this something that you want to send? Darnell, I'm trying to bring it back up. I'm just trying to see.
Who was all these people?
Who do you see?
Okay, so when I believe Alicia was trying to call and Phyllis was trying to call, it said like 14 people. But that's not what I'm showing on my screen. It's just 1, 2, 4. P. Rico trying to call back in.
Okay, bring him in.
Okay, you're already on another call because it says if I answer it, it'll exit me from the call I'm in.
Well, I don't. Okay, let me try to figure this thing out. This. I feel like the feds is watching.
I'm trying not to laugh.
Did he just ask someone? Okay, I don't know how this crap works either. He just sent a message talking about who called me. Did somebody call you?
I don't even see any of that on my screen. All I see is you guys, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm looking at my phone and I just got a message from Joseph Alvarez talking about who called me. I didn't call him.
This is great. This is the guts. I swear, this is
that's P. Rico. He changed his name after the burial.
No, that's his government name.
That's his Fed name.
Yeah, but we didn't know until after the burial.
Oh, I knew that before.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just a viewer.
Women, you should have known too, because he makes sure he tell you every ethnicity.
They can't snatch
that is involved in his genetic makeup.
Okay, we back. So I found the wanted people.
Okay, you found them.
You need to rename them.
I will. Everybody just listen. Everybody got spooked. Mama J over here talking about. I think you done hacked into something that you ain't supposed to have. I said, well, don't say that. Then I'm listening to her say. I'm listening to all of y'all say. Don't tell nobody. I hung up with the phone. I said, you do know we on Facebook and we on YouTube Live, right?
Don't tell nobody.
Right. They want to go delete that other video.
Nah, but you got your presentation together though, Josh. Put it together. You know what you got to say and everything. Go ahead.
But wait, she over here clicking on files, you guys. Why she got all the employees at the Rosemont Police Department's time card? She got the time cards.
Hey, the police. It was in the report.
I love her. I just love her.
Let me do my quick welcome to the room. Hello, everybody, for tuning in. Welcome to the room. Again, like I said a little while ago, we've had segment 1, 2, and this is the 3rd one. We will not be on as long as we were the other ones, because if that's the case, we'll be on till 12 o'clock my time, and that's not happening.
Nope.
Everybody who just tuned in, We are going through the case files of Kenneka Jenkins. In the process of us having a really great discussion of how we are going to bring change and justice to the Kenneka Jenkins case. We stumbled across some pictures where we were able to see that Rosemont just might possibly be looking for 4 or 5 different individuals regarding the Kenneka Jenkins death. We were also notified in the chat to check media takeout that also just advised us that Rosemont Police Department closed the case, but as soon as they closed the case, new evidence has been provided stating that Kenneka Jenkins was raped. I have a beautiful panel. Everybody jump on in, get back to it. Yes.
Jasmine, I will say this. There was a statement, I think it was from Teresa's attorney. I don't know if it was something she said or they said, but it was something about the photographs, and it was along the lines of the police weren't aware of certain things until like the day before they were going to release them.
Oh, really?
Let me see if I can go back, because I don't want to misquote it and say the wrong thing, but it was something along the lines of there was some information or whatever they weren't aware of until like a day or two before they released it, which still didn't make any sense because I'm not a police officer. I'm looking at the photos. I could tell what happened.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was just sitting here looking at this picture, and I looked at his Facebook and realized that his Facebook page said John Doe. And it just dawned on me what you guys were saying in the last segment about there is a guy that's going around in the pages named John Doe. And isn't that the person that's going around saying that he was at the hotel?
That's
and
crazy.
everybody thinks that he's lying on Facebook, so they keep blocking him.
Wow.
Just in the room.
I don't know. I've never heard that.
And how funny is it, mysteriously, all of a sudden, it's a Facebook page saying Jasmine and Jordy are involved in the cover-up as soon as we find a picture of a man with a Facebook name, John Doe.
Jerk.
Is he coming for me?
Nah, he better not be. Shucks. I'm going to bring y'all lunch. Shucks.
Mama J said if he coming, he better come correct. Let me go ahead and see what's going on.
I think Mama J could take him.
Listen, he don't want these problems.
I'm not far from y'all.
I'm trying to think. Can I find it? Can I find it?
Somebody said John Doe. Somebody said John Doe. There was somebody in the room named John Doe that my admins blocked. Interesting. Well, I might need to go unblock him. He might want to know how wanted he is.
Girl,
y'all so scary.
You are so silly.
First thing they say is I'm innocent, and he got to tell a story.
I'm nowhere around. I'm nowhere around you. And the funny part is, out of all the pictures that we looked for, we have not seen. And that's what I mean by people need to. I'm telling you, ever since I started my YouTube page, I have been very adamant about the fact of stop being so quick to accuse these people of murder. I kept saying, where is everybody getting the pictures of the people that they are accusing of being in the room? Where did that come from? You went through Facebook, you found a man in a blue jacket that you might think be and because it says he lives in Chicago, we just snatched this man up. Everybody started hitting up their Facebook pages and threatening them. Everybody fall back and just wait until you get your information. Wait until you see, and then as you get more evidence, start to build your case. Everybody instantly jumped in with who they thought was the murderer, who did it, where they did it, how they did it, like it was a big game of Clue. And now we have the people that we have you wouldn't have these people out being seeked or sought if you didn't think that they were involved. And I'm so curious to see what it is that you guys are talking about when you say that there was a second victim.
It's somewhere in that report.
And what did it say?
Hold on, let me go back. It pretty much is a piece of paper, and it says, hold on. It says victim 001. It lists Kenneka's name, address, phone number, her statistics like date of birth, race, sex, age, all of that. Then it has victim number 2. All of their information is redacted as far as their name, address, date of birth. It just lists their race, which is black, their sex is male, the age is 36, the weight is 6'2", the height is 225, and it has Illinois listed as the state they live in.
Mm.
It says page 5 of 13.
I wonder, do they know each other if that's the case?
And the person is a victim?
It says, yes, Kenneka victim number 1. This person is listed as victim number 2.
We need to get that. I know you can find it, Jazz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I need to.
It's in a report somewhere. I've been trying to dig through it, but you know how these files are set up. That's parking images.
Dang, that'd be messed up that we didn't give this girl no justice and try to fight for her. If Kenneka became the name.
Well, it almost sounds like the description. It might be a man.
It's a man. It's a man. It's a guy.
Ouch.
Did you get my picture, Jasmine? Did you get my picture?
Shucks. Y'all ain't say that. You said it.
Hey, Jasmine. Jasmine.
Did
you get my picture?
Wait a minute. Somebody said, did you know they're having another conversation in the hangout with Rico? What is happening? I hear 2 hangouts.
So did they not hang up in that last hangout?
Okay.
I don't know what they did. Hi, Nursey.
Hi, Jasmine. This is my first time doing this, so
girl, you just popped on in there. I'm like, who is this? What's going on?
Oh my goodness, I'm too old to be up this early or later, however the hell it is.
You got something on your mind you want to say though. That's exactly why.
Wait a minute. And I'm trying to ear hustle and hear their conversation because I can hear Pete Rico.
Can you let me see something? Where is my phone?
It's right here.
Okay, Nursey, what you? I know you got some tea for us, so you got your
No, I actually don't have any tea. I just finally look. I'm old. I'm almost as old as your mother. Not quite there. I just figured out how to dial in. I had to do the app. So.
Well, she sound like me.
No.
Okay, wait. Let me go to try and get Rico and them on here. Y'all go. My 2 hosts. Y'all take over.
Y'all got to go get some little kids to help you with that phone now.
No, mine are all gone. I had to finally figure it out. I did it. I just downloaded the app and just finally dialed in.
See, at least you know how to download the app, though.
Yeah. I'm. If I think about it, I can do it. I just don't get into a lot of it. But anyway.
What you think about all this information?
Doesn't surprise me, frankly. The guy that we're looking at in the cap, that the one that was in the video, he and Ty were the 2 people that I just got a feeling about and suspected it because it seems like they were concentrating and aiming the camera at Kenneka or Shemai or someone in that corner. But I always suspected him. As far as what happened to her, I think it's basically what Jasmine said. I think it's just something that went wrong and they panicked. I think they did try to drug her. I think somebody did drug her. And I know the effects of Topamax. I'm a pharmacist. I know the effects of Topamax. And if you mix it with alcohol, it messes you up.
And
It messes you up without alcohol.
True.
And you know what? I was sharing with my sisters and them because I'm a certified substance abuse counselor. And that medication, a lot of times when people want to use date-rape drug, if they don't want it traced, they'll use that and mix it with alcohol because the effect is the exact same.
The exact same.
Had you gone.
It will. And I was listening to you earlier. You said you were on 100 milligram dose. They normally start you on a lower dose of like 25 and then titrate you up because if you're not used to medication and you take that,
Girl.
Exactly. And so, I think that happened to her. And I think, as they say, she was off her square, seriously off her square, and someone took advantage of her. I thought immediately when I saw her in that freezer with one shoe off, and the way her pants were pulled up, what came to my mind was that someone pulled off one of her legs, raped her, took off her shoes.
All right, I guess I'm here now.
Yeah, pulled off one of her legs, raped her, and then tried to put her back together. So that's what I thought. That's why I thought one shoe was off, because and they were manhandling her. But if you take off one tennis shoe, because she had on straight leg jeans, they took off one leg, left the other one on, did what they had to do, and somebody put her back together. That was the first thing I saw. And then when I saw the bruises on her back, they were, I just felt like she was really manhandled and raped. So I know she didn't, Jesus is gonna have to come back and tell me that she walked into that freezer by herself. I just don't.
Exactly.
You preach it to the choir. That's what got us all involved. Like, hold on, what?
Yeah,
Jesus,
I mean, Jesus, exactly.
Abraham, Moses, the maid,
exactly.
the lamb.
Exactly. I mean, I have
You know what? I don't even think, I think they intended to kill her. I'm gonna tell you what, when they put her in that freezer, I believe they put her in there thinking that she was gonna go unfound for quite a while. They didn't expect her to be found as quickly as she was found. And they knew that in that freezer is where her body would be preserved to the point where it wouldn't decompose and there would be an odor.
Right.
Oh, they wouldn't find her.
I feel like they whole plan shifted and they panicked because they never expected Mama Teresa to go up there so fast.
Where this nigga come from?
Right.
And not just that. Not just that. It's multiple pictures showing Monifa had that shoe. That's why that shoe looked like it was thrown in there like that. And if you look carefully, isn't that Monifa little nasty ponytail head up in there?
The scallywag.
No, I think.
Come on now, y'all leave alone now.
I think they were both on. I think they were both on her hands.
And not just that, she was using her sleeve to open up the doors. Why you trying to hide your fingerprints for?
Yeah,
I did see that.
Don't believe.
So you saying Monifa has something to do with it?
Oh yeah.
You know,
yes.
He saw when I was at the funeral, bro. She was laughing about this situation, man. It took me to go up there and look at her eye to eye to read her because, like I say, I have this ability of the third eye. I can read a person very well. She know what happened. That girl is terrified to tell exactly what happened because she was threatened. If she was to tell what happened, her and her family would be annihilated. Right along with Irene, you're there. You sending us messages through them glasses. We can only see so much. But guess what? It's some money involved in it because y'all paid to cover this up with that hotel. How was they smart enough to know where exactly to go to the freezer? They was guided by someone who worked at that hotel.
Okay.
Do you believe somebody working at the hotel? You said that.
But Rico, I played a 911 call earlier, and you are aware that there was a 911 call that was made by the general manager of the Crowne Plaza that stated that he was told that Kenneka left with an employee or was with an employee.
And that goes to the security guard who was scratching his nuts.
What about the call by Irene that said that she was disabled?
Was that Irene or was that her?
I don't believe that was Irene. I believe that was somebody who, I think that what happened was
sounded like her though.
It didn't. I believe what happened was they were so frustrated with trying to get the 911 dispatcher to send the police out that they felt that if they had somebody call in and say she was disabled, they would hurry up and come out.
I thought it was, they said her other sister, not Lenore, but her other sister, they said also made a missing persons report. So I thought maybe it was her that called. I don't know.
Like I said, this was a friend. The friend set her up and an employee helped cover it up. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, Rico, let me ask you a question.
I want to get back on that employee thing.
No, Rico, I have a question for you.
Jasmine, I have a quick question for you.
After the photos, have you clicked on the images after that? Because there's actually a breakdown. Hey Rico, I have a question
are
for
you
you.
Are you talking about the break? It's a breakdown where it shows they have it in they have it color categorized.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far. I just see where they have a breakdown of, like, I guess each individual and each of their nicknames and potential aliases and.
No, that I've seen the one where they have them broken down in color category. It basically they have the times broken down as who walked through the lobby or who came through the front or back door. They have them broken down in colors. So blue is guy, pink is girl. And then it breaks down the times of who came through the door and when they came through the door.
Okay, what I was looking at is specific to the suspect.
No, I haven't seen. I ain't got there yet.
If they would never call her to go to that party in the first place, she would have went to the movies and still been alive. There's so many clues.
People had questions about the movies part. Remember, Jazz, earlier in the chat, we was talking about that.
Because of time?
Yes, the time about the movies and the time around the time that we were saying that this had happened. People were saying that it was too late to go to the movies or to the bowling alley. Like, where could you go that hour the late? Because somebody had called and found out what time it closed.
Well, I researched and pulled up all of the bowling alleys in the area, and I looked at the times, and then I pulled up the theaters and I looked at the time, and I think there was one bowling alley that stayed open maybe till 12. I mean, yeah, till 12. And then 12. Of course, like we said, they always have the late show. My concern is not even really the movie theater part. And the biggest thing that bothered me when I was looking through these files was when I looked at that text message that Kenneka had texted to Monifa or Shamaya, whichever one of them is 16. Whoever is 16, she texted the 16-year-old girl and said, "I'm ready to go." And the girl responded back and said, "I'm ready to go too. I told you his dick was small." And then in the police report, the girl said,
"What?"
Yeah,
yes, I'll bring it back.
Yeah,
I will, for everybody who's just tuning in, I'll pull it up. And again, and listen to the times for those of you guys who are just tuning in. It says, at 9/9/2017 at 6:20 a.m., which is UTC time, so you subtract 5, that would make it 1:20. At 1:20, Kenneka texted and said, "I'm ready to go." Mind you, they just got there at 1:13. So at 1:20, Kenneka was ready to go. There was something going on in that party, or somebody arrived.
And a couple people
she wasn't comfortable being around. Say it again.
A couple of people had said that she was uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then Kenneka did. And then after that, the girl responded back that she texted. She responded approximately just over 30 minutes later at 6:58, which is 1:58, and responded and said, "Me too." And I said it looked like his dick was little. So something was going on. I mean, y'all was only there for 5 minutes. What was going on that you was able to see what was little and what was big in 5 minutes?
That money. It was probably that ring that they was talking about.
Exactly.
Well, Jasmine, did you go to the email and get the picture yet?
Okay, let me
that prostitution ring. So if you think about it, if I send a girl to the room and then she supposed to go up there and get the money, you know what I mean? So maybe that text wasn't from a girl. Or maybe I don't know. I'm just saying.
I never got the email. I will post my email address back in the box.
What's up with Alicia though?
You want me to resend it again?
Man, I ain't getting up all day.
I didn't get the email.
Hey Rico, man, good looking out, man. You know, I'm starting to get a chance to get to know you a little bit, man. I'm trying to see that you're, a stand-up guy, and I see you got your heart in the right place. I had a chance to discern a little bit and see a little bit about it. I want to encourage you, continue to, press, but you got to get, help within. You got to go to God. You can't do it by yourself.
I'm sorry for cutting you off, but they go Monifa headband. And look at how her pants is. It look like they just put it back on after they was.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Would they knock it off with that? That is irritating me. And look at how dirty it is. Look how dirty her clothes is.
Exactly.
You mean to tell me she wasn't dragged or tried to fight? Look how her hands all balled up, man.
Well, look at even how the tag on her panties is out.
Head up right here. This was for the mess y'all head up. Remember when the security guard was pushing that bag on a cart and it hit something?
Yeah.
You remember they said
Jazz, take it back.
And leg was injured. Look how that cart hit something that hard. And look at Mr. Mop Boy coming behind him and mopping that up.
Look at her foot.
Following him.
Look at her big toe.
But I don't know, you guys. To me, that looks more like she might have been. That looks like she was fighting. That looks like she was fighting and kicking, and somebody was dragging her.
Yeah. But I understand what P. Rico said though, as far as that bag. But what Jazz did earlier with that bag was something else, man.
Yeah, Jasmine got a picture and put Kenneka up against it.
Oh, let me take that down. Kenneka's number's on there. Sorry, guys.
You was gonna screenshot it when you compared them two pictures earlier, but you didn't do it.
Yes, I'll bring it back up. So what we did was I pulled up this picture, and we compared it. So I'll do it again for you guys. Hold on.
You got to see the video of that bag, and you'll be able to see the true size of it.
No, we completely did something totally different. I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
I sent it to you, Jasmine, again. Oh, I did it wrong. I made a mistake and sent it to myself.
Cause on her nail, that like that.
Hey, it's that lack of sleep.
People think that's a dread on her nail. That ain't no dang on dread. That's a bag, man.
P. Rico, I never considered that ponytail holder, man, until you said that, man.
Right there.
That's Monique's ponytail holder.
Yeah, I never considered that until you said that. And I'm thinking about that little ass ponytail now. I'm upset.
But you know what? Let me share some light on that ponytail holder though. Okay, because if y'all remember, if y'all look in the bathroom when her and Monisha was taking the selfie, she had a black band on her arm.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing about it is, we as women, when we have long hair or weaves, we always have a ponytail holder.
Yeah, but
we always do. And she had a black band on her arm, and I assume that was her ponytail holder.
Kenneka had a black band.
That looks like blood.
That's dry blood.
On her butt.
Yes.
Rape.
I was talking about the ponytail holder.
Look how her tag is sticking out of her panties. That's where somebody took her clothes off and then tried to put them back on her.
Yeah.
They did it quick too.
Yeah.
Because I think that
Look, there's another piece of the bag right there. That's a black plastic bag. And looking. And did you guys know?
You see that bite mark?
Why was her watch on her arm?
You see that bite?
Band, why was the watch on her arm? The band was gray, but the watch in evidence, the band is black.
They got so much DNA on her, and I'm so upset that they ain't even.
This right here, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, this right here is what they gave.
That's
what the coroner did. This is what the coroner took a picture of, and this is what Kenneka. I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
What time did it say?
3:15.
And this is what was on her wrist.
That remind me of you ain't never seen a watch like this.
Right.
And
of course, this is her stuff because there's the. Well, I can't get to it, but it's the same belly button piercing.
Hand stuck. Look how.
Yeah, but Jazz, I wish you could do that picture that you did earlier.
You guys look right. Did you guys see the blood? Did you guys see the blood coming out of her ear?
No.
Go back. Look at the picture. Jasmine, get the picture of her laying up against that wall.
Yeah, they didn't close. They didn't close this case. They didn't close this case. That was a trick. They didn't close this case. That was a trick. There's no way they could have. There's no way they closed this case. I mean, there's no way they closed this case.
I asked the white shirt, do he think this was an accidental murder? And he gonna say some I spazzed out on him. I said, that's why y'all are corrupt.
Y'all see the blood?
Corrupt.
See the blood on her ear?
Gotta go closer.
Give me just a second, guys, to get my my FBI and stuff together.
I wish you would have took them screenshots of the stuff you did earlier, though.
Yeah.
Like her earring got snatched out.
Her earring, yeah.
Yeah, it got snatched out of her ear or something.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, baby.
A little split.
Yeah.
I was looking for her dimple. Couldn't find it.
Her mouth was kind of open too.
Her dimple on the right side. Couldn't find it.
Rico, when you went to the services, did she, was her lip busted? Because on the pictures I saw, it looked like her lip was busted.
That's what I just said. And yeah, her top lip was swollen, then her bottom lip. And man, I don't even want to discuss on how I felt when I saw her in that casket. All I heard was "help me," straight up. And the whole little gimmick of the act that Bree and the rest of them was doing, it was sickening to my stomach.
I bet. Hey, that picture with her face right there, I wish you could have put that next to the picture that's in the casket. And then go and put that phone picture.
I got a YouTuber. I got a YouTuber who really think I was part of this case and part of the murder, that he gonna take a picture of Kenneka. Well, somebody took a picture of Kenneka in that casket and it surfaced through the internet. This dude gonna pick multiple pictures of me smiling around Kenneka while she in that casket talking about some confess up. You know you had something to do with it. You Irene cousin.
The devil's always busy.
Always busy.
And there's like a lot of people are mentally ill. A lot of these people shouldn't even be on YouTube because they have mental illness for real.
It brought out every crazy areas to bring out. Seriously.
I'm Irene cousin. So I was up in there talking about some happy birthday, you fuck up out of here. Sorry for my language. They blew me with that. That legitly blew me. Talking about some dreadhead appears. You know how many dreadheads out here in this world?
No, we saw the picture of the dreadhead. He's in the files.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look nothing like him.
No, you definitely
Y'all
don't.
not even the same color.
Thank you.
It was a light-skinned dreadhead there. Somebody gonna say to me, "Dude, look like you, Rico." Man, I don't know no more. I tell dude, I say, hey, if it was me, best believe I'd be in jail.
Let me ask you something, Rico. Like, do you believe, you remember how they had the rumor about Kenneka's brother and it being gang rivalry? Do you believe?
Yeah, that's why I said from the get-go, I feel like it got a lot to do with revenge, and they plotted this revenge on they had to plot. They had to legitly plot.
What's going on?
Crowne Plaza staff on standby to pay them to get rid of the dang body. They got led to that kitchen.
Yeah.
By somebody who worked there.
Yeah.
Or they probably paid him to clean it up. We don't know.
Well, first of all, for them to have accepted a stolen credit card for 5, well, how many rooms did that girl have?
2.
She had 2, but she was charging everybody's parking to that room.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but I actually pulled up the Crowne Plaza receipts where they charged $250 in parking to that room.
Wow, what kind of money they making?
I wonder how much
enough money to pay to cover it up.
Just like that?
Enough money to pay to cover it up, because there was a lot of people in that party. And if I'm not mistaken, some dude who supposedly got it for Chicago, one of the games, was that he was 35. What he doing there?
Yeah, now remember I told you that older guy?
We saw his picture.
That's the old guy with the dreads.
Exactly.
Hey, what do you know about a second victim?
Who, me?
Yes, sir.
I just know it was Kenneka. The second victim I had in mind was that Kimberly Willis girl, that girl who was there who created a fake page talking about she was scared to give her true identity away because snitches in Chicago get killed, and she not lying. So I didn't blame her. But I had Anonymous to crack through who created that page, and it's ironic that that page was created around the same area that Kenneka lived in, which is Douglas Park neighborhood. So it had to be, to me, I really thought it was Monifa trying to confess up, but hide her identity. I don't know to this point. Anonymous just gave me information and I skeeted off with it. I ran off with it and I let my people know this page was created around the Douglas Park area. So who else that live in the Douglas Park area besides Kenneka? Monifa, that was my only guess. Do Irene live over there? I don't know, but still,
the second victim is a man.
It was a man.
That's why that Kimberly Wiles. It kind of. That's what I was asking earlier about them text messages. Do you think they were all real?
Yeah, I really think so because it's to come to think about it, it sounded more like a scared dude than it did a girl. That's what I was telling my little brother. But I was going off the name. So I thought it was Monifa.
You did say that. You said that though. You did say that. You said it sounded like you said on there. I remember watching your video. You said it sounded like a dude or whatever.
Right. That's what I said, man. His intimidation on how he's showing how he's scared, it make me think it's a dude because ain't no girl gonna say it all like that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was Monifa though.
But question though, like y'all remember talking about that guy Zach TV, and know,
good question.
I'm starting to believe that what he was saying about his house being broken into and the whole thing. I'm starting to believe that to be sort of true.
Hey, look, let me say, you say his house was broken into, etc. Let me tell you something. You know how many times I done sat there and I exposed them.
But you talking about Zach TV? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
no, No, I ain't talking about Zach TV. Do you know how many times I sat there and I exposed and called out Monifa, Irene, and all that?
Right.
Okay, that's what you're talking about. Okay, I thought you said Zach
Monifa
before.
only showed up on my page when I said that somebody named Lewis Chamberlain have the video of Kenneka getting beaten and raped on camera. That was tuned into my live.
I remember that.
She only tuned into it. And then she ran behind Lamont because Lamont around her age and he got a whole shit ton of followers. So whatever Lamont say to back her up, they gonna follow him and call me an idiot for trying to get her on live. They like, who is you to talk to her, Rico? I just wanted her to get on live to talk shit to me because, like I said, I read people. I try to set these people up for a trap because she is not finna manipulate me like how she manipulated him. She ain't gonna do that to me at all because I was once that age. I know exactly what's lies. But when I saw her at that funeral, yes, I approached her and I hugged her, but I did that just to get close enough to her to read her. And when I read her, like I said, she was full of fear, lies. She know what happened. She was part of that movement of why Kenneka ain't here today.
Hey, Rico, let me ask you a question. Do you think Maya had anything to do with it? Because we think she's the one that's young. We didn't realize she was that young. She's only like 16.
Yeah, she get in trouble. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, she saw what happened. Everybody who was at that party saw what happened, and that's why they was blasting that music so nobody wouldn't hear her screaming and calling out for help. She was killed in that room. And if you notice, dude who went on live next to that girl, everybody was focusing their attention towards that bathroom. And that fake decoy Kenneka, that wasn't even Kenneka because why is Kenneka covering her face if that was Kenneka?
There was something shady going on. I don't know.
Even Teresa Martin said that wasn't Kenneka.
She did?
Yeah, she said that wasn't Kenneka. In that hallway. In that hallway.
When I talked to I'm not going to say who it was that I talked to, but when I talked to the individual, she actually let me talk to her on YouTube Live, on one of my live shows, and I asked her, does Teresa believe that all of those shots were Kenneka? And she said no, she doesn't. That there are some scenes where Kenneka is seen on footage that she does not believe is Kenneka walking through the hallways.
Okay, but Jasmine's sitting here, you guys going through all these different files. Why did they have a room at the DoubleTree Hotel the same night?
Because they're okay. Because they have the gangs have a prostitution ring. That's why. Why do you think all those dudes are with those girls? For protection.
It's a prostitution ring, and what I heard was they were trying to get Kenneka involved in the prostitution ring, and she wouldn't want to do it.
And that's when they try to make it a revenge issue on terms of her supposedly holding them for what her brother did, is what I heard. But you know how people theory go.
Yeah,
they
right.
Make up any little thing to be heard. You see what I'm saying? I go off of facts and what I see. If I'm able to look at these people and read their vibe, I can pretty much tell you who got in on it and who not in on it. You see what I'm saying? That's why that security guard, that man is mysterious, man. Don't nobody. Why was his nose bleeding?
And let me ask you something, Rico. What about Shaniqua Wright, the one that had the credit card that was booking them rooms? What do you think about
Good question.
I believe her. Do you see Monifa Facebook? She keep counting all that money, talk about cracking cards. I think those who got something going on with that, they knew what was gonna happen to Kenneka that night. I guarantee you that. Because out of all the females there, Kenneka was the chosen one.
And I think she's the ringleader too, the Shaniqua girl.
Yeah, she the ringleader because she the one who pitting Monifa on the card cracking stuff. Come on, man. Your friend, your best friend since the 3rd grade died, and what you doing is counting money, being happy y'all on Facebook. Then y'all talking about going to another hotel party on her Snapchat, another hotel party. Everybody who know Monifa said that she is known for setting people up. She look like the person that'll set you up.
Yeah, she do have a funny look.
You want to know why she look like that?
She looks because she acceptance.
Because she thinks she thinks she's a black disciple. That's why she's sitting there setting them people up for them, because they got it in her mind that she's a BD. And what BDs do is what BDs do. I'm not gonna leak out they stuff. That's on them and what they do.
Right.
But it's what they got that girl thinking what she is to help them get away with stuff, because nowadays these gangs using women to set up guys that they are into it with, so they can get away with what they think they did was right. That's why I say I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be known as the man, because that's a heavy luggage to carry on my back. Then I'll be a target. Nobody knows how it is in the city of Chicago. When you're a target, the target will be extinguished. They will get you. And then once they get you, they're going to be the man. Then what happens when they be the man? Somebody else get them. It goes on and on and on. There's not a stop to it. That's why I say, because I am the voice for the voiceless. For the people who scared to voice against them people, I'm not afraid to voice against them people. Do you know my life and everything I'm putting on the line for this? And I believe that God got my back with this with this struggle. But don't get me wrong, they're gonna permanently have to shut me up to get rid of me.
I don't want that to happen though.
That's what it is.
I don't want that to happen. So I want you to be careful. Can
I say something real quick? That's what anything when it comes to freedom, and what we got to do, for our freedom of speech, whatever it is that we have, that we're free. But I do want to ask you, man. It seems like you always stand up and you're outspoken for the people and, for the freedom fighters and for this case, for Kenneka. Why isn't your I don't want to call him your superior, but I'm going to say Jediah. Why doesn't he come out and he talk and he try to, not set the record straight, but at least get people out of confusion, because there's a state of confusion out there, and he puts videos out all the time, and then sometimes you don't know, but I do know that it's bad acting, and I do know that he was once on a show, because I seen the show, and I was like, you know, so why doesn't he come out and talk like you?
Tell you the truth, I cannot tell you Jedediah's motive, his agenda, and the type of person he is, because I personally don't know him.
It's hard to believe, but y'all make it seem like y'all do, and that's where the television comes into play and the reality show of it.
Like he's an agent. He does seem like an agent.
All of them do. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna
Don't
lie.
get me wrong.
I consider you to be one too, brother.
Don't get me. I just got into this when I heard about Kenneka, bro. I was at an event at the Crowne Plaza after the day she died, and I ain't know about that, bro. So my homie sent me the link, and when I saw Mama Teresa, I'm like, wait, what's going on? I clicked onto the article, and once they said that her daughter, I'm like, don't tell me it was the little girl I be seeing at Douglas Park when she have her events. Just so happened when I saw the picture of her, I broke down. I had to go out there. I went out there. That's when I met them. I did not know them. I was quiet at first because I was peeping the scene on what was going on. Then when I dug up my information on Rosemont, that's when I'm like, man, it's time for me to go ahead on and be outspoken so these people can hear me and they can turn it up some and wake these people up for real. That's when I came out there. People start affiliating me with the freedom fighters. I wasn't affiliated with them.
On that episode that you did, though, or should I say it was like the finale, because all of you all were on the panel, and it was on Zach TV. And
that's when I joined them.
Hold on. But then it's like you changed your narrative and who you were. I'm going to tell you, I watched you because Jazz put it up, and I told you that in the past. But when I seen you there at the funeral, the narrative changed to you being more against, and I feel like you were being more truthful to me. Like you started spilling the beans about the corruption, and you started spilling the beans about a lot of stuff about the case that people were saying, but you weren't saying it before until she was buried, is what I'm saying.
You said I wasn't saying it until she was buried.
Well, I'm just saying, your tone changed maybe at the funeral, but your tone changed from what you were saying like the day before. Put it that way.
Look, listen, the reason why you feel like that, brother, is because, like I said, when I was at that funeral, it was overwhelming. I felt a lot of negative vibe, as if people know what happened. I felt like some of the people that was there to stage they acts. It was people that acting.
Exactly.
It was scaring me, and it was scaring me.
Okay, well, I thought you were acting too. That's what I'm saying.
What?
I said I thought you were acting too. That's what I'm saying. It did look like an act because it was bad acting.
I am not an actor. I'm too outspoken to be an actor. Most definitely not an actor. Tell you that now. Like I said, people don't know. People ain't know who I was until they heard a loudmouth Puerto Rican motherfucker out there yelling, "Wake up, Rosemont." That's when people start noticing who I was.
Put that on a t-shirt.
That's when people start sending me friend requests, following me. But let me remind you this. I had 5,000 friends before this. I was known before this. I was known. You could talk to my high school friends. I used to be in high school being political. I was been known from this. I just didn't know that it was a group out there that express and fight for justice. That's what I always saw myself
Time out.
doing.
I thought about something you said. Hold on, and I'll shut up. I promise I won't ask no more questions. But earlier,
what's that, Jasmine?
In the talk on the last stream, you did say that you knew Teresa before this whole thing happened. You said you knew her when you were in high school or something.
Yeah.
What's on the screen? What's on the screen right now? The yellow ticket is basically all of what they took off of Kenneka. So it says 1 Victoria's Secret satin gloss, 2 size 6.5 gray shoe, right, 1 crystal gloss lip gloss, and 1 black hair scrunchie. So they basically this is what they took as evidence. But I wanted to go back to this really quick. I left it up while they were talking. This guy, right? So this right here is what we were talking about earlier when I was telling you guys about the lineup. So I don't know who they had do a lineup, but it shows that they did do the lineup. This is one of the girls they did a lineup on. So I'm assuming out of the pictures, somebody identified her. I don't know why, but she was just a part of the lineup. I don't know who she is.
Isn't that Shaniqua?
I swear I seen her before.
That's not Shaniqua.
Okay.
No, that don't look like that security lady that was walking them to the room.
I don't know who this is, but this is the Shaniqua girl, and this is the transgender that was with her.
Yeah.
It's Kashonda.
Man, take a picture of it. Nobody want
Humphrey.
He was driving that car,
like
Rico.
What?
He was the one driving the car.
No, we don't know that.
Okay, I stopped. Okay, my bad.
And then this guy right here, they took his Snapchat. This is Red Hat, the one that was following Kenneka.
Oh.
Didn't he do that video in the truck with his boy? They were smoking. Is that him?
No, that's
no.
Hey,
I see that gap.
It's a picture that showed Kenneka stumbling on the wall, and that dude was walking right behind him.
Correct. So this guy is either Pucky or Winky. So one of them is
do he it look like it's some stuff going on between them two.
Right. I don't know, but this is one of them is Punky, one of them is Winky, and then there was another picture. So here's another one.
Did you see how he's biting his lips while the other dude was just
they do look like they're involved, and that sort of brings me back to that one guy victim.
I wouldn't let no guy lean on me like that, bro, and I wouldn't be biting my lips like that.
Hey, but that transgender, is that the guy or the one that you were talking about earlier that got arrested for the accident?
No, those situations were not related at all. After I did my investigation,
crashed that car, I knew the girl who died in that car crash.
After I did the investigation, those incidents were damn near 35 minutes apart from each other. So that has no relation at all with the Kenneka Jenkins case. I don't even know how I think the rumor just got started because the boy looked like Irene.
Yep.
Hey, Jasmine, can I put a spin? Always got a spin.
Oh, no. Yeah, give me a spin.
How about not the friends, not necessarily a setup. How about an initiation? How about
I thought about that.
Yeah, how about they got her up there with her thinking, girl, shoot, we about to make this money. You know how young people talk and everything. And then when she found out what she had to do was usually, in gangs, they jump you in. And sometimes the girls got to sleep with all the guys in the gang. And what if she was like, oh, no, I'm not down for that. Now, y'all said that we was about to, do X, Y, and Z.
I thought about that.
And then for me to get in it, I got to sleep with these dudes? No. I'm
going to tell you, what I said earlier was I felt like what number 4. I felt like what could have happened was, I don't nobody get offended with what I'm saying, because I'm not trying to say that she was out there living no. I think that they was doing some lady of the night every now and then. And it might have been a possibility that they thought they was going to get them a little money, and maybe the security guard hit them with a proposition.
Yep.
And they tried to get Kenneka to take that proposition
because he didn't already peeped her out. Plus,
correct.
The thing is too, they probably was looking at her like, oh yeah, she gonna be a good price. She gonna make us some. Look at those lips. You know how guys feel about those kind of.
And she was the cleanest. And she was the cleanest.
But I'm saying, look at.
Oh yeah, we got it.
I think we men think when they look at lips like that on a female.
Yeah, come back to the pause. You guys, you know what? Scratch that. I'm sorry. Don't even listen to that anymore. I forgot. I'm gonna have to scratch that, because if that's the case, why would 4 guys be involved?
Yeah.
But can I throw another spin?
You said you're gonna scratch what?
Can I say something? Now.
What did she say she had to scratch?
I'm saying I got to scratch. I'm not saying that I don't think the security guard is involved, but now I got to run it through my mind. What would be the relation with the 4 guys, Monifa, Shamaya, and the security guard. There's some type of connection now. I don't know.
Yeah, but
because
you know,
if you guys paid attention to the last video when Kenneka walked down, when she was, and I wish I had the times because I have all the footage, but at one point in the video, I don't think people realized that when Kenneka walked down at the bottom level, when she stumbled and hit that rail, and then she walked through the double doors, about 30 minutes later, Shamaya, Abriana, the boy with the white beanie, Ty, another guy came walking by, and then about 5 minutes later, the guy with the red hat came walking by, but they walked into the kitchen at a different angle. They came down the stairs and kept going straight to go into the kitchen as if they were going to come into the kitchen behind Kenneka. Kenneka went in the other way, but it was about 30, 45 minutes difference, and then you never see them come back out. So now when you look at the pictures, we're able to verify that there is a back dock exit. And mind you, what did we learn earlier in the last segment? That when the police issued the report for Crowne Plaza to release a list of them of all the cameras that didn't work, one of those cameras was the back dock camera.
But
they showed us some footage from the back dock.
That's what I was getting ready to say. There is footage, but there's about 5 hours of missing footage from like midnight to 6 the next morning.
So
y'all want to know what's funny?
But we have to understand that there's more than one exit. There's more than one dock.
No, they show two. They show two in this footage.
You guys, you have
y'all want to know what's funny?
You have to understand.
Y'all remember when they took Kenneka's body out the freezer?
Right.
I remember that dude who was acting suspicious as if he was hiding something.
With the green jacket?
Yeah.
The man took the
that
camera
looked at the
from
camera.
Guys, come on now. Pause. Let me just say this. Listen, I need everybody to really think realistic. The coroner man is not going to come into the kitchen and snatch a camera down in front of another camera. That doesn't even sound realistic, guys. Like
he was suspect though.
I know, but guys, you guys listen. The man was not suspect. The man came in. He looked as if he might be interning with the coroner's office. He came into a crime scene and he looked up to see where the cameras were positioned to see if they were going to be able to see who did it. That man was not doing nothing. That man ain't in there doing nothing but doing his job.
He did creep to the back though.
He's a coroner.
If you really
I'm not talking.
I'm talking about the one with the green jacket. That's the one he talking about.
Listen.
Mark, whatever his name is.
Listen, you guys. I believe that man was looking like this, and this is just my opinion. After that man saw Kenneka and the condition she was in, I believe that man was truly looking to see if there was any way that they were able to see how she got in that freezer. I don't believe that man had anything at all to do with Kenneka's death. I really believe that man was, I think he was even shocked when they saw her body.
Right.
Like,
okay. Let me ask you guys something. The evidence, the black watch, the ring, and the red band. Did you all peep at the top of it and see what it said? It said obtained from Evanston's funeral home.
Yep.
So that means that one of those people, either the coroner or the other guy, was from a funeral home, and they had to take that off of her. That wasn't because it would have said it wouldn't have said that. So they called a funeral home in there originally because that was not going to be a murder investigation.
Yeah, in the police report.
So you think they switched their watch out?
That's maybe what he was doing.
Because it's obvious they switched the watch out because on the watch on her is gray. This watch is black.
Right.
Or no? Yeah, but they say in the police report that they called for the funeral home to come pick her up.
But what funeral home? Not the one that did her body, because they have to take her to do the autopsy that morning. This says 9:10. This was that morning. So you mean originally before they decided to do an autopsy?
I believe what happened was originally.
You guys. I'm trying to tell you guys why it went like that. When her body is initially picked up, they take her to the coroner's office. Okay. Then from the coroner's office, they take her to the mortuary.
Right.
Okay. The mortuary comes and picks her up. Okay. So the way this evidence was transferred from one person to the other is correct. It was done correctly. Now, why the colors of the watch change, I don't know.
No, what I'm asking is why it said at 4:52 a.m. 9:10. So it said right away. So what you're saying is that the mortuary comes along with the coroner, picks her. The whoever, if the funeral home comes with the coroner and transports her body for the coroner. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Because that's what that evidence thing says.
Something real quick. I almost know what Rika was saying. I almost know what she's trying to say. But at the same time, with that guy with the green jacket, and I think Mama J, and in a way you was saying this too. When he had that bag and he put it in the bed. If you think about if you ever been a patient or something like that, or if you ever have been in the ambulance, they put all your belongings on the bed, tuck it in a blanket and all the rest of that. And a lot of people would say, oh, yeah, they put our organs up in there. Like they was going all over the place,
You guys,
just want to say that real quick.
If you pay attention to that video, you can clearly tell that man is a student. That man is interning. He is interning.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying, then why did the evidence say on there who was from Evanston's funeral home? So they just wrote that on there?
No,
baby.
We have to understand what happens is after the coroner comes to get you, for all we know, Teresa could have originally had them release the body to that funeral home, but then she decided to change her plans when she wanted to have a bigger funeral. Teresa has to give them permission to release the body to a specific funeral home.
Very good.
So wherever she went, once it's at funeral home, Teresa gave them permission to come and retrieve the body.
Right.
Okay. Are you talking about before the autopsy or after?
Right. Because look.
No, I'm not. I'm talking to. Are you talking about before the autopsy or after?
The funeral home comes get you sometimes before the autopsy because just like my mom passed and we had an autopsy, but the funeral home comes get you sometimes before the autopsy.
Okay, because that's not how it happened with my dad, but my dad did die in the hospital. They did the autopsy first and then they released him to the funeral home. So
it depends on whose autopsy comes first, because in this case it was two autopsies done.
But what I'm saying is that the time and date stamp they gave that to her that same day. And the reason I'm only bringing it up is because when Lenore asked the police chief, was I supposed to get the watch and a ring and whatever? And he said, no, we always keep the evidence. She said, so why did they give it to me? And it says there that the funeral home took that off of her body, but that it says at 9:10 at 4:52 a.m. before her autopsy wasn't until 10. Do you see what I'm saying? So I was just confused about that. So they took it from her and gave it to whoever, but it says that right there on the thing. So I don't understand why.
No, that time on there, what they're telling you is on 9/10/17 at 4:52, 04, whatever
a.m.
That's when they removed that off of her body. They removed it and then they took a photo of it.
Right. But it says, what does it say at the very top? It says obtained from Evanston Funeral Home.
Right.
Right. So
they're telling you that
took it off of her. You see what I'm saying?
They did the autopsy with her watch and stuff on.
No, that's my whole point. They didn't. This is my point. When they first discovered her body, they were not going to do all of that. Maybe they were going to find it was a death investigation. If you read Teresa's statement, she insisted that they go a little deeper. Someone, I don't know where Evanston is in relationship to where they live, because says here. Okay.
The law is in any state, when somebody dies, if they do not die in a hospital and a doctor can pronounce them dead, or they already know that that person is dying from a certain illness, no matter who's involved, an autopsy by law has to be done.
Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that, okay, I guess we're going in circles here, but let me just get my point across here. What I'm saying is that they found Kenneka dead. If they found her dead and they were going to take her to the coroner's office, before they did the autopsy, that is when they normally take things off of you. Jasmine just said the other day that she never received her fiance's items yet. That was on him. That the coroner usually takes things off of you. This
right, but see, this is. So let's just clear this up really quick, because I think I understand where you're going. The only reason that I didn't get my fiance's stuff is because it was automatically labeled a murder.
Right.
Okay. Automatically labeled it accidental. So they, in their minds, we all know that they messed up on the case. They should have never released those items to Teresa or Lenore. Those items should have been taken off of Kenneka and placed in evidence.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Right, but they didn't because they never ever labeled this death as a homicide. We still haven't got my fiance's stuff to this day, and we probably won't until the trial is over. At this point, once they came out and they allowed Teresa into that freezer, at that point it was very obvious that they never thought it was a crime scene.
And exactly, and so that's what I was trying to say. They were going to just send her possibly to the funeral home, and that's why they had the item. So I think that whoever that was, one of those people had to be the funeral home, because they took, I guess, one of the guys. I'm thinking that one of the guys.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I called the other day. I called Rosemont Coroner's office, and what they advised me is when the coroner comes out, there's two people that come out with them. There's what you call a coroner investigator, and then you have a ME. Mm-hmm. The ME is who comes out, that's who pronounces her dead. The investigator is who makes the decision if it is criminal or if it was accidental. So the two people that you guys are looking at, it's always an ME and an investigator. Guys, please, like, the whole part with the guy in the green jacket, like that, we can sit and debate about that all day. My personal opinion is I don't think the man did anything criminal. I think that where they messed up was the police allowed them to give those items to Teresa and them. Those items should have been placed in an evidence bag that had a red stamp going across it, and it should be sitting in the police department in a box right now, because there could be some type of DNA or something on it. But the only difference is when it comes to the mortuary, when it comes to the funeral home being labeled on anything, it's because when Teresa came to the scene, Teresa already had in her mind what funeral home she wanted her daughter to go to. And just so that's not
okay. Jasmine, I got a question. Because now something else. Okay, my cousin died a couple of years ago. She died at home, and she died of cancer. No foul play, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. At that point, they asked me what funeral home did I want them to call. Mm-hmm. And I told them, and they came and picked it up. My thing is this: if the timeline is right, if the guy was there, the one who was prepping the body, with the one that was putting the cover and stuff on, you saying that's the funeral home, right? Mm-hmm. Then how did they know what funeral home to take her to, or who to call, what funeral home to call, if Teresa came in and viewed the body after that?
That's my point.
Listen, no.
Because he's already there prepping the body. So how did they came in later?
Once she got to the county coroner's office where they did the autopsy, once she got there, then they make a phone call.
No, we understand that, but that's not what the evidence thing says. So that's something else they messed up on. That's
you guys said that the white guy was. Y'all said the white guy with the yellow coat.
Okay.
The white guy with the green coat came from the county coroner's office.
I'm talking about that little piece of brown paper with the watch and her belly ring and the thing. All of this was given to them before the girl even got to the place to have the autopsy.
Because they had already determined it was an accidental death.
But I understand that, Mama Jordy, but when you're saying that she gave the funeral home after she got to the morgue, all this happened before that. That's what we're trying to say. They already had Evanston. I don't know if that's who eventually had her. I don't know even know where Evanston is. Is it near her west side, or is it near Rosemont? So I'm thinking that whoever they work with, maybe that's who the city of Rosemont, that's their go-to funeral home or mortuary. Because
but you guys, listen. Just because that time is on there, that doesn't mean that's when they gave it to that funeral home. All they're saying that all that time means is that's when that evidence was documented. Then they're letting you know that once it's documented, that's who it's going to be. That's who it's going to be turned over to.
No, it says obtained from. Obtained from means that the funeral home had it and they gave it back to the police, who gave it to Teresa.
That part we probably not ever gonna understand.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that that's something else that they handled incorrectly. Because why would the police have to obtain something from a funeral home before the mama even viewed the body? Because she was at the hotel. Maybe they asked her, but before the mama viewed the body and before the girl goes for an autopsy. That should have been after the autopsy, is what I'm saying. That's something else that they messed up on. That could have been evidence on there, and you got the funeral, whoever handling the evidence before they even do any dust it or do anything on it. They didn't gave it back to the mama. So that's something else.
That part is a fact. We know for a fact that they didn't check evidence off of any of the things that they gave, off of any one of those 3 items anyway. They immediately gave it to
Jasmine.
We know for a fact. That's definitely a fact. That's one of the things.
They were nowhere near thorough.
Hey, Jasmine. 2 things. Did you ever check your email to see if you got it from me yet?
Oh, let me see.
Okay, and what about Alicia too? Did Alicia still hit you up?
And
just a minute ago,
no, I'm not getting your email.
Just a minute ago, when Jasmine was
you don't see through a child's eyes?
No.
Just a minute ago, when Jasmine was flipping through those papers, now they just released a newspaper article the other day saying that Teresa Martin would not hand over Kenneka's cell phone. But a minute ago, I sat here and thoroughly read a piece of paper where it clearly said they had custody of the day of her death of Kenneka's iPhone, Kenneka Jenkins' iPhone. They gave it to her voluntarily.
Because that's what the original article said, that they had custody of her cell phone and 3 other people. It said that. So I don't know why they're trying to. It seems like they tried to tarnish her image in the later articles that were put out.
Right.
I don't even think they're trying to tarnish her images. I think it's another way, like I said, of them throwing the public off, because social media took this thing and ran out of control with it. And people do not understand. All it takes is for one person to know something and somebody's involved and they get a hold of that information, and now all of a sudden that person just disappears.
Yep. And then a lot of stuff won't even be able to, you can't, like, you have to be careful when it comes down to evidence anyways, because like if like a lot of this stuff they've been talking about on YouTube wouldn't be able to be used if it was true and factual. They couldn't use it in court anyways because too many people have seen it, like in front of a judge, in front of jurors. Just like, for instance, if they
ever find anybody, they're gonna have a hell of a hard time in the Chicago area finding some jurors that hadn't heard of, study up on the case. That's all I gotta say.
Is Rico still here? Does anybody know? Rico.
He probably done
his icon is. But what my question I wanted to ask, when y'all were mentioning the security guard, it's like, do y'all think that the security guard was involved in a gang?
Can I get my theory or my scenario, please?
Okay.
Because I've been waiting and I've been trying not to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what I've seen before. example, okay, I don't know if y'all seen that live that Monica did. She was tripping with some other girls, and they was talking about fighting. And then I looked around some more, and I'm seeing that they always fighting, and they videotaping it, right? So then I'm thinking they just sit there and watch them fight. What if they had a place to go and fight? And then I thought, I seen another video, and I heard that girl say again, Monifa say, but you ran to the security guard. You kept on running to the security guard. And I thought, is that the same security guard that y'all linking up with? And then y'all got a room and then lock and nobody can get out?
Is he involved in a gang? The question is he involved in a gang?
Yeah, no, he's not involved in a gang, but if you guys look at the video of the hallway entrance, the back end hallway entrance where Kenneka and them walked through, there was a group of girls that came through the door. There was an altercation that happened that night at the very end of the hallway.
I saw that.
Is that why they're taking the carpet out from over in that area?
Oh, I doubt it.
It might be blood on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're taking the carpet up. I'd have to look into that. But there was
I peeped at something, and I'm just saying I seen that. I just want to give a shout out. I don't know nobody out here, so I don't want to really do nothing wrong or disrespectful. So I'm gonna keep it to myself. Is that a cool?
Yeah, it sounds like it's best.
But you hey, Jasmine, you don't see an email that said Irene's glasses?
I think the feds is.
I got that from Kate. I'm just saying.
Nothing from you.
He gonna say it anyway. Yeah. Cause I sent you a picture of.
I heard y'all ask, was the security guard in the gang? To tell you the truth, you don't have to. It's a possibility. That's a far-fetched idea. But nowadays, it's about the money, man. They can pay that man to help them cover that shit up. It's about money, man. In this world, money talks. Money cover up a lot of things because it's the root of evil. Remember what you said earlier. The owner know Trump, they best friends. The mayor, they all connected. Rosemont is crooked and corrupt. They all know each other. Crowne Plaza Hotel is the hotel that generate a lot of money because you got an O'Hare Airport, Rosemont Theater, Rosemont Mall, and a River Oaks Casino.
Did you guys see even on that credit card where they transferred $1,000 off that card into an account? You never know. They could have paid. You don't have to be involved in nothing.
That's good.
Money talks.
That's good, Mom.
I just had that question because somebody was asking earlier, how was the security guard affiliated with them? And so I was like thinking of how could he have been like possibly affiliated.
He was sitting in front of Irene.
That's a good question.
Irene glasses.
That's a good question.
What if
he was sitting in front of Irene? He the one that patted Irene on her head.
The security guard?
No, it was not.
No, it was. Jasmine,
look carefully. Look carefully at the glasses.
Rico, I'm gonna need you to stop listening to the people on social media. Stop it. If you want to get text in here,
I'm going off. So
the man was blind.
He not. He making his own videos. This nigga got 3-4 videos a day.
You better quit picking on Rico.
And furthermore, the one
Jasmine,
security guard.
If you gonna call me a nigga, don't forget the Rican. Call me a nigga Rican if you're gonna use the N word.
Yes, I hear somebody trying to ask a question.
We can get into that on another topic, but I feel you. But we can get into that on another topic. That's a good discussion.
What's the
it looked like
Jasmine,
point blank period. It looked like the person who's in the front of Irene had a gun. If y'all pay attention to it.
No.
That's
possible.
Wait a minute.
That's possible.
Hold on, you guys. Okay, everybody one at a time. Somebody has a question. Go ahead.
Jasmine, how about if the security guard came into play because that's supposed to have been Kenneka's first customer?
That's what I think.
Yep.
That's really what I think. All this extra, all that other stuff is extra. I didn't see no gun. I don't see no man that looked like he was Mexican or white, because guess what? This is my theory on it. Whoever touched the top of Irene's head, all of our hands look the same color at the bottom of your hand. So you can't tell what color this person was that touched Irene's head. I feel like them girls was at that hotel. They thought the man came to her with some type of proposition, and they came to Kenneka like, girl, all you got to do is go over here and do this, and that would be a simple way for her to get to the kitchen, because that's his duck off spot. He's security. He know where it's low key.
Exactly. And then it went wrong. It went wrong, and he killed her. And that would be a better reason of why he helped cover it up.
Right, and why the hotel is trying to cover it up.
Cover it up also. But you know, and that, I was saying what I'm saying is that I think that they I think that was the plan all along. When they say set up, I think more of an initiation. And I think that Kenneka was like, oh, I can't do that, you know, if he cute, you know, or whatever. And then when she got there, it wasn't how they said it. They probably said, well, you gotta initiate yourself in.
I believe that too.
You gotta sleep with these gang members, and then that's your first customer right there. And she was like, wait a minute, hold on, I ain't doing all that. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this because there's enough women on the panel, and I'm not really talking about you particular guys, okay? But one thing that I've learned that as a woman, once a man sets his sight on you, you can barely even get away from him. And you got men out here, because women have been killed.
Women do it too.
Okay. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing about you guys. What I'm saying is that even if there's women out here that's been killed or disfigured or hit or called out of her name when she rejects a man. So when they got there and she was like, I ain't messing with them like that or whatever, they was like, oh, we gonna take it.
You gotta watch how you carry yourself in the company you keep. That's just it.
You guys, I'm hearing everything you guys are saying. This is Mama J, but I'm gonna take you back a few steps. I truly, in my heart of heart, believes, I'm old enough to know. We're talking about Chicago, Illinois. You had gang members from opposite sides of the track that was in that room. I'm more amped to believe that this is something that goes back to some retaliation crap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I don't believe if that security guard had anything to do with it, he was paid to help them try to get rid of that body.
What I said
is what happened to Kenneka. What happened to Kenneka happened with the people that were in that room, and I believe it was set up prior to. That's why that room was rented 2 days prior to that party. It was rented on the 6th. Is when they initially tried to hold the room. The other thing is, Rico, I don't know if you know or paid attention. You was talking about Monifa with her sleeve. There's also a clip, and when Kenneka's in that hallway, when she goes down that hallway and disappears and never comes back, and then that group of people comes down that stairs, they all continue to go straight. Shamaya turns to her left, and she goes in the bathroom. But before she walks in there, she takes her hand, she pulls her sleeve over her hand, she pushes the door open, and when she comes back out, the sleeve is still over her hand. She looks over her shoulder, and then she pulls the sleeve back up over her hand and commences to walk off.
I'm
saying,
like they was trying to keep from putting evidence, placing evidence.
But I believe what Maya was doing, she was making sure that Kenneka was on the track that they wanted her on. You see what I'm saying? Okay, she's not here. Because they all kept going the other way. And I'm just going to tell you guys, at 57 years old, if I'm somewhere with my best friend or any of my friends, if somebody comes up missing and there's 25 or 30 of us, we splitting up in 2s and 3s. We not looking for nobody.
Ain't nobody going home.
But you know what? Because that's what I was thinking too. But we also we've been sitting here talking about these these age babies these days or whatever, and they not down for each other like we were down for each other back in our day. And another thing is too about that too is because when they let her go off like that, that's breaking girl code anyway. We already know that. And we can't expect for these girls, like we already say, this is a different age and everything, to have each other's back the way we would have it back. Because let me tell you something. My best friend was missing. I bet I would have been running through those halls, calling her name, knocking on everybody's door. I would have been pulling fire alarms where nobody's sleeping up in there until I found my friend.
And the question is, where did she get that seizure medicine from? Because they don't pop seizure medicine. Seizure medicine is not like, a thing that they do for recreation.
They do cocktails though. They put a lot of different pills to make a cocktail.
But not seizure medicine.
Not seizure medicine. And there was only the things were she only had one thing. She only had three things in her blood. She had alcohol, she had caffeine, and that goes by report because she had some type of caffeinated drink, and she had
that Red
Bull. Yeah, she had to paramate.
And the whole
medicine that she had in her system. If you read up on it, I'm a certified substance abuse counselor. Listen.
Okay.
If they had given her an outright date rape drug, when they did the autopsy, it would have automatically. A date rape drug means criminal activity. She's been given a date rape drug. That's too
professional.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But they probably do it all the time. But you can give them too much. But I'm telling you, they knew how much they were giving her, and then they would give her another one if that didn't work.
And then the entire time, just think about this. Kenneka only had a drink one time the entire time, like I've seen her in any of those video clips. And then it was a small drink with that Red Bull, like it was one of them hotel bathroom cup with that Red Bull. So she wasn't like, when she was standing up, she didn't have a cup in her hand. She didn't have
an idea. How about we go back to the video now that we know this information? Let's go see now.
Well, according to the people in the room, she was guzzling down gallons of Hennessy. That's what they said.
But according to each one of them video clips that we seen, she wasn't.
I know she wasn't. I know they.
And then her mama said.
The thing is,
they said
that particular drug is one of the things that it dissolves best in is alcohol. So they could have easily opened it. It comes in capsules. Somebody could easily crushed it up and put it in there.
Right.
If it's in one of those energy drinks or something, if they put it in there, that stuff tastes nasty anyway. You're not gonna taste it, So
right.
I definitely think her drink was spiked.
And you guys,
yeah, because you know what? That's why the dress came in, because they wanted her to put her thought boxing hat on, because now they was about to do their thing and they was about to make this money.
And they wanted her not to be in her right mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like she got to be out of her, you got to kind of get her drunk. You got to kind of get her high. I think that's where the drugs came in at, because to get her to go ahead and do.
I'm just gonna ask you, Mama J, do you mind me just for just like 3 minutes on something real quick? I just want to say.
Oh yeah.
Young girls, even if you're listening, I mean, we ain't been cursing. We trying to be respectful as possible. But look, my daughter, she's 18. She went to her first homecoming last night, and when she left, I gave her the speech like a man's supposed to do. And she went by herself. She didn't go with other dude. I just want to let that be known. My daughter didn't like that, but I told her about, make sure that you're with somebody. Make sure that you're not leaving with nobody. Just the bottom line stuff, that you better know. And then I says, and don't accept no drink from nobody, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She gonna say, why? I want a homecoming. I said, they put drugs in them drinks. You know what I mean? It bothered me. Like, do you not know? I could have acted a fool, but it's just the fact. You cannot trust anybody in situations like that. So I'm gonna go back on mute. Sorry, just had to say that.
Right.
No,
but
right.
The thing is that he's right. But the thing about Kenneka is she couldn't handle alcohol. So it wasn't. I don't think that like she didn't go with the intentions of drinking. Drinking wasn't her thing. Mm-hmm. Right. Drinking wasn't her thing.
So guys, here's the thing, because this is my opinion. This is my opinion, basically. This Jasmine, we what happens is what we're doing right now is we're basing everything off. We're going way back. We don't have evidence sitting in front of us.
Oh yeah.
So it's very obvious that she, regardless to what we all say and what she didn't drink, she had 2 times the limit in her system. 2 times the limit in her system. So that, regardless to what we're going off of what we have seen her people say. Yeah, her mama might have said she can't really drink, but listen, when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, my mom would be like, well, my daughter don't drink like that, and I was at the party drinking like a fish.
Me too.
So let me say this too about
hold on, nurse.
Okay.
Just a second. We all got to take our turns here. At the end of the day, though, if we base it off of the evidence, it was clear when you read the evidence report that just about everybody they interviewed stated that we popped ecstasy pills and there were a lot of pills going around the party. So like somebody just said earlier, it's what they consider the white kids call it, but now, the black kids are probably doing it now. They call them cocktail parties. That she could have been at that party and somebody could have dropped one of them pills in her drink, knowing the effect. It's not hard to look up a medicine and say, okay, if she takes this, if she's already drinking, this is going to intensify how much she's already drank.
Mm-hmm.
That's obvious. Like Black said, I don't think that she popped no seizure medicine just to enjoy. Obviously, somebody might have dropped it in her system or something, like dropped it in her cup, whether she knew it or not, or tried to drug her or whatever the case may be. I just don't think it was recreational. If that was the case, then she wanted to pop a pill to have fun. When one of the girls who had the report that was in the car with her, she said they stopped and bought 1 ecstasy pill. So if Kenneka intended to go to the party and be high and she take a pill, she would have bought a pill before she got to the party.
Can I ask you a question?
That's what we're all
Jazz,
saying.
can I ask you a question? Look, okay, while you're talking about that pill, think about this. Well, I mean, just as a scenario, and I'm not trying to go way far out. Can they use the drink and make them date rape? I mean, I'm trying to say it so fast. Can you make them date rape drinks for whoever, and they have like the seizure medicine in case they do go into seizures? They try to give them that to calm down their seizures?
No.
How long does the seizure medicine take to effect? Because
that particular,
you're not supposed to drink
at all with it, and that particular drug is more of a preventative. So like some people say, well, maybe she had a headache and they gave it. It's not for a headache, it's for prevention of seizures and migraines. So if you have a headache already, it's not going to make your headache go away. It's to prevent them. And then the other thing about it, her blood alcohol level was high. But what you have to also remember with that drug is that it potentiates the alcohol. In other words, it interferes with the metabolism of alcohol, and so it makes the alcohol stay longer in your system.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to drop the mic on somebody because there's somebody else that wants to come in. So when I drop the mic on you, I'll put the chat back in purple. I'm sorry, I just saw it. I wasn't paying attention. I'm such a terrible host right now. I'll drop the chat. I'll drop the link in the chat so that somebody else can come back in, and I'll drop the mic on somebody else.
I'm for one do want to say that I don't think we were acting a fool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, listen, you guys. Like I said, those people in that room, if they pop pills and stuff like that, believe me, they know what pills do what.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody knew that what they were going to do to Kenneka in that room that night. Rather than give her an outright, what is recognized automatically as a date rape pill, because if they had given her what they recognize in your system as being a date rape pill, it would have looked too obvious. Now she has been given something where they had her under control. So somebody that knew had given her that pill, the effects would be the same as if they had given her a date rape pill. All they did was substituted one pill for another, but the effects were exactly the same. That's how she got that pill in her system. Somebody gave Kenneka that pill. Somebody gave her that pill knowing what the effects on her was going to be. And like somebody said earlier, Normally when they prescribe that medicine to you, they start you off at 25 milligrams at the lowest dose they can go. So whoever had that pill, it's probably somebody that either has had them prescribed for themselves, or they know somebody that takes them and knows the effect that it has. And that's why they use that pill, because they knew they was going to come back and say, well, yeah, she had such and such in her system, but it's a legal drug. It's a prescribed drug.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that would take away the suspicion.
It would take away the suspicion. Now they can't point the finger at anybody. They can't say, you know what I'm saying?
That is good.
That's it. And that's sort of what you said, just put me in the frame of thinking that they meant to kill her.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Jasmine?
Yes.
I tried it one more time. I had my daughter email it to you. It says Irene's glasses. My daughter say that I'm going to have to go to rehab after this case is over because I'm too addicted to this case. But I sent it to you one more time.
Quick question.
Say Irene's glasses.
Give me just a really quick. For everybody that just came in the room, if there's anybody else that would like to join the hangout, I did put the link in the box. You're more than welcome to pop in. All that I ask is that we respect everybody's opinions and allow everybody to get their opinions. I'm thinking that this drug topic is a little hectic and hot, so they ain't really understanding that you can only talk when you have the feather in your hand.
Right. She just threw some shade at us. She threw some shade at us, panel.
I know, but you guys, you have to also, like Jasmine keeps saying, let's keep looking at the evidence that we have. Even in the police report, it says that somebody in there, after they went in and broke down that live video, they said that they could somebody clearly in that video said there's gonna be a murder. Was it a murder or homicide? It's somebody about to get murdered tonight.
Well, these kids talk way too much.
Or no, they said, I'm about to murder her. So it's like, come on, you guys, who just randomly sits in a party and says something like that? And I don't think that Irene realized that certain things were going to be said, and she went into panic mode. That's why she kept saying, this thing is we getting a bad connection. It's a bad connection.
Can I say I'm connecting the dots on something in my head and it's bothering me? Okay, maybe I'm gonna stop watching people videos. I'm gonna get off YouTube because it's starting to just get me in my mind. Okay, so I did watch some straight drop stuff, but he had found the white chick that was in the hotel when she was in the room. I'd never even seen it, but there was two white people in the hotel room, and it kind of got me off guard. And I'm thinking he showed the girl being over his shoulder, his or her shoulder. Okay, so then it got me to thinking, okay, did something happen?
I'm about to put you on punishment.
But you know what?
Sorry, I won't say his name again.
Hey, let me say this.
I just be telling you what I seen. I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say right now. At first, Straight Drop started off on the straight and narrow, and then I think he started spending so much time on the case that he just, at this point, he's almost tempted to believe that the UFOs came in the room and took Kenneka.
Yeah, but I'm saying I do recognize some of the stuff that he's done. I'm just mentioning something, okay? I'm not saying
what white girls were in the room.
That coffee cup, just like the coffee cup. It showed the girl with the coffee cup in her hand. The white girl that was that kept on. She was in the elevator room. That's what I was saying. She was in the elevator room right there by the elevator. And when Tolliver came out that closet, all I'm saying is the way that I'm thinking about the cart and all the body on the cart, and then how you put the picture.
When did Tolliver come out the closet?
Oh Lord, have mercy. That's how I said it.
No, I'm saying, yeah, you said when he came out that closet. What closet did he come out?
Wait. I'm sorry. Let me just stop, man. I ain't gonna say nothing else because you got me making it look like I'm crazy.
But you know what? I think that, like after Mama just said that, I think that, like they meant to kill her. And, in my mind, I just thought that, what they did was they set the security guard up unknowingly, You know, they set him up unknowingly to get her in the right place, down there with the security guards so that they could kill her.
Yeah, but my point that I was trying to make was they transported her. I'm starting to believe she died in that room. That's all I was trying to get out. My bad.
Okay. You got me. I was trying to replay all the videos in my head. Like, when did Tolliver come out of a closet? So I was
by the elevator, and then the white girl walked past, and she kind of gave a little, and then he came out of that room. It didn't look like the elevator to me. If you can keep going in and out of that place, and he made it look like it at one time. He went to the other elevator, but then he swift slide, and I know that because I used to work. Man, I used to work for the Riviera.
I'm gonna tell you guys what I just thought about, just real quick. And you just made me think of this when you said something. I don't think Kenneka died in that freezer at all. I believe a lot of the dirt and stuff that we're seeing on her and her foot and that shoe being off, I believe Kenneka was dead. Her body was too heavy for anybody to carry. I don't know if y'all know about a dead body. A dead body ain't no joke.
Right. It ain't no sandbag neither.
I believe she was too heavy and they had to drag her. They put
her on that cart. They put her on that cart.
And they put her on a cart or something and took her the rest of the way.
Yeah, but they had her keys and her cell phone. So this in my head, I cannot help but feel like it was premeditated.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm saying that the hotel didn't want it to come to it being the party. It was because they have so much corruption in that hotel. Think about if them kids are up there doing it, if they're paying the valet and they're paying the front desk, that's home. Why not? I ain't gonna get caught. I'm good. I'm in good with y'all. And now I need to get this girl died in my room. I need to get her out of here. Or what do we need to do? So what do? We called the white chick. I don't mean to call the white chick. We call her. She come through. But then in the kitchen, that cup, after seeing the little photo I seen that old boy did, I promise you, I believe it was her cup.
Okay.
I got y'all thinking.
The body was drugged because first of all, the tennis shoe that was still on her foot, that tennis shoe would not have dirt on it like that from her just laying
right.
Okay, Jasmine, you said when you was reading the stuff that they returned, they said was on her when you was reading that yellow piece of paper. On that yellow piece of paper, once again, you also stated again that they said they had one left shoe.
Correct.
So even at that time, they still didn't have that right shoe. So where did that right shoe come from all of a sudden?
No. Yeah, it said one right shoe, but when they said one right shoe, they're talking about what was on her body.
No, that's what I'm saying. They said one left shoe. When she read that piece of paper of what they said was on her, it says one left shoe. So
on the evidence sheet of everything that was in the room with Kenneka, they only listed one shoe. They didn't list two.
Because Mama J, remember when she called the coroner and the police station to find out where the right shoe was on that live that time? And remember they said that's a good question for the police?
Correct.
Right. And we didn't have a left shoe. But then we started making a big deal about that left shoe all of a sudden. Now that they showed us these pictures, it's in there with her. So why didn't they see the shoe when they was in there in the first place?
Right.
I don't think the case is closed. I think like Mama J was saying earlier, a lot of this stuff has just been put out for us to see and to not just to fool us, but to fool also the
It was the order.
Wait.
The order they put it out.
Yeah, but let me finish. Not just to fool us, but to also fool the suspects.
True.
That makes sense.
Being that we talking so much anyway, they said, see, we can't let them get it. You know what? And you know what I wanted to add to it too? Downstairs, when those elevators opened, where they said that she was in the basement, in that hallway, when she first came out stumbling out, where we say that we see the red jogging suit, whatever. Being that that's a basement, how do we know that? Remember when the white girl walked past and she looked? How do we know that those are not like utility rooms or boiler rooms or
That's
something
what
like
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I used to work at the Riviera. I used to work at the Riviera. I had a room like that. My storage room. I was a supervisor for window washers. I had a storage room in the hallways. That's why you couldn't tell me that there ain't no cameras in them hallways. And when you work there, you know in and out of every way that you can get away from a camera. Because I used to know how I can go smoke a cigarette. I know how I used to go to sleep. I used to know how to do all that stuff.
And let me tell you this. They sort of had to play it that way. I feel like in a sense investigating this case for real, they had to play it that way, even down to the security guard. Excuse me. Because if not, then then a lot of people would have came up dead. A lot of witnesses and a lot of people would come up dead. So they have to, and they know they would come up dead.
Now listen to this part. Now,
Hey, Alicia's still in your chat, Jazz.
Remember when Oliver did that live? I'm nowhere around you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't think Oliver might not have had anything directly as far as touching Kenneka or being a part of Kenneka, whatever happened to her. But I believe they used Oliver was the decoy for them. And when Oliver was saying, I'm nowhere around you, he wasn't talking about him.
Is the dude with the red hat his twin brother? That's what I was told, that he has a twin brother.
That's the one that got killed.
And when he said, you got
I
to,
thought it was his friend.
It's going to take you 2 votes to get where I am. He wasn't talking about himself.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was his friend that got killed.
Yeah, because come to find out, he was only like 45 minutes down the street. So I'm feeling you.
Yeah, you see what I mean? They had all this planned out. Oliver was a decoy. And what did everybody do? Everybody immediately ran to Tolliver. He on the run. Tolliver had he's the one that did it. Everybody else is getting away because everybody is focused on we're going.
Tolliver.
That's good.
People even somebody even drove to the place to show everybody he was just 45 minutes down the street.
Right. They showed did. But you know what? One of the biggest things is, I guess, starting to really get this in perspective is to know motive. And I think we pretty much got motive down. Because it's starting to make a little sense now. Because at first we was like, well, why would these, we had too many questions when we would come up with an answer. But at least it seemed like this motive is a lot better than what we've been thinking about. Because because you got to think about something else too. They're not also just trying to protect the hotel and its reputation and the fact that they got somebody else, what's that celebrity that's supposed to be doing something with it. You got to remember, they also protecting their prostitution ring and everything else. They're going to lose money if they bring heat to that hotel.
And not just that, Teresa Martin. I mean, like, cause when this first happened, when they were saying that this could be a gang rivalry due to Kenneka's brother, the first thing I started worrying about was Teresa Martin. So not just protecting, the hotel. It's like, even, and I think, come to look, just looking at everybody like, why ain't Teresa coming out? Teresa knows something. And, what about Monifa? It's like, it's a lot of stuff that can't be said even to Monifa and to Monifa. Like if Teresa does have any clues, she can't say anything to Monifa. She has to just play it. She has to just keep playing it like nobody knows, for her, not just for her whole family safety.
The only problem I got with that is, her boyfriend just got out of jail for murder, right?
Okay.
So I'm saying, when your boyfriend is security, when he's your bodyguard, you scared of threats. He's a killer. He's gonna have no problem with popping off his gun.
but she got daughters and she has other family members as well. And if they want to shed, like, think about it now. If these guys don't want to go to jail, and they know it, because this why a lot of crimes go unsolved, because of the simple fact that when they, like, for one thing, you got to have some type of witnesses or some type of witnesses in court. And so if all they got to do is come back and kill off the majority of their witnesses.
Even
Irene family don't want her to, because that's why that guy, I think, never produced that, never did that video with Irene, and I think that's why Irene's family didn't want her to talk, and I think that's why didn't want her to talk or go to the protest. And they've been saying that they've been threatened, that they have been threatened and stuff like that. So they got to play dumb, and they got to keep moving in the same fashion that they moved in before, or they know they're gonna be dead.
You know what, these dudes to me is not real gangsters, because I agree with Jasmine on one part of it. See, we're not gonna keep going through all this back and forth and wondering and being nervous and looking over our shoulder if the witnesses are gonna tell. They just usually wipe them out.
You guys, in one of the police reports, the officer states they went to question somebody. In the midst of questioning that individual, people came out of a building and yelled to the person they were talking to, "Don't snitch. Don't be no snitch."
Damn.
That, I mean, these are vice lords. These are vice lords. And then it's even to the point that even if they were put behind bars, it's like, still people have to worry about their lives because they got other affiliates on the street.
Dang, they is as big as the mob out there now.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
This ain't like this ain't like BD and GD. This vice lord been around since the beginning. Yeah, since the beginning.
This what started gangsters right here. They real,
this the real deal.
Some gangsters.
I don't know if you guys can see the screen, but if you look at the screen, there's a guy in a green jacket. Everything that's in that bag is extremely small. What you see that's white on the bag is a label. That is not a camera. What he has in that bag 9 times out of 10 is the lip gloss, the jewelry, and small items, because everything you can
the shoe.
There's no shoe in that bag.
I'm just saying. I was thinking. I don't know.
Oh no! If you look at the bag, I'll go back just a little bit.
But if you go back,
shoot,
there's a bag on top of her, under that blanket. He laid a bag on top of her. You don't have to go back.
Oh yeah, that's a real thin bag too.
That's a thin bag.
Yeah, ain't no camera in there.
That's not a camera. But before we had all the evidence, it's easy for your eyes to play tricks on you. Oh, that's a camera in the bag, and they must have took the camera down. And that's not a camera. That bag is small and thin. They fixed the body to give respect to Teresa, and allowed her to come in to view her child. And if you see, he passed the bag to the police.
No, he's gonna do another bag. When they go over there to the guy that's standing over there by the table where the coffee cup is, he's gonna get another bag, and that do look like it's big enough for a shoe. Watch. Oh.
But when I was talking about him looking at the camera, I was talking about it's up in the air, and he comes and looks up there when he's in there by himself.
But I believe he's looking at the camera because he's really in his mind trying to figure out what happened to this young lady. What happened? There's got to be something where they can see what happened to this woman. I mean, you guys think about it.
That's another bag.
I don't care what title he has. That's a horrific way to find anybody. In a freezer, froze to death. He's probably looking around like, how did this even happen in a hotel like this?
And not just that, a lot of times investigators, when they're investigating, they are looking around to make sure that they don't miss anything. And
my only concern was at the beginning when he was by himself. I did see him look up, and then he looked towards the freezer, and I was just curious at the time, like, is he looking to see if there's another camera? That's just all I'm saying. Some people were saying that's it.
Well, we
and
already
Alicia's still in your chat.
We already know, and okay. We already know that there's another camera in there because we saw it on the a couple of hours ago. So it is another camera, but I mean, to me, it just looks like he came in, he realized where the body was, and he looked around like, is there cameras in here? It looks like he's looking for a camera right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because again, like I said, there's an ME and an investigator that comes with the coroner's office. The investigator is who labels the scene as a homicide or accidental, and that's from the coroner. So if you call Rosemont Coroner's office right now and you ask to speak to the investigator, there's going to be an investigator that gets on the phone. Now that bag looks like the shoe.
And you know what? We're not so sure that the FBI is not already on this case.
Correct.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, like right now, you know, we really don't know what the police has said to Teresa Martin. We don't know what they're saying. We don't know. We don't even know what that hotel has been informed to do and not to do right now. Because apparently what we do know is there are 5 people that they're looking at and it says for murder investigation. Murder. So
yep. And okay, didn't you say and Jasmine, didn't you say that you saw an article where the case has been reopened?
It said, no, Mom said that. What I saw, it said that, don't quote me, but basically Rosemont Police Department closed the case. New evidence has arrived, and new evidence has arrived, basically stating that Kenneka Jenkins has been raped.
You know what that is? Remember, we were waiting on another some more results to come from someone.
Mm-hmm. Toxicology.
I don't remember who. I know that we were still waiting on one set of results that was gonna either come from, you know, toxicology or the coroner or DNA.
Well, you know what? It could possibly be that her attorneys had an independent autopsy done. And it could be because, remember, the attorney already said that the pictures that were released the other day gave more questions than they had more questions than they did.
Mm-hmm.
So we really don't know what, you know what I'm saying, you guys? And then she has an attorney. Okay, hold on.
Wait a minute. If you guys can see what you just said, he is so excited to talk to you guys right now.
No, I'm in just she's on point. I'm like, she makes sense. Like, I'm so glad that I found your page. Let me interrupt for a minute and say that, because I mean, nowhere else can you go on a page and you guys keep it to the facts. So you can't, because like that other stuff twist your head up so bad, because in a few seconds they will have you all out in left field and then they stay there. You know, nobody brings them back. Nobody brings them home.
No,
and then
bring them back.
But you know why too? Because this what irritates me more about anything is why everybody got to wait till they start smoking weed to get on live. And then I say,
it's funny because I made a comment. I said, this is what I said, you guys, about 2 weeks ago. No. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Right, shortly after the toxicology report came out, and I said, has anybody stopped to think that if Kenneka was in that room when Irene went live and she was alert and awake, don't you think her toxicology would have came back with marijuana in her system? And somebody responded to me and said, "Oh, well, Kenneka doesn't smoke weed." I said, "Well, how do you know that?" "Well, because it's been all over the place, and her mother and them says she don't smoke weed."
Contact.
But no, she smokes weed.
Contact, though. If she didn't smoke weed, she still was in the air of it.
And there was not a near bit of THC in her system.
Right.
What I would say, I find that even strange, that the fact that they was smoking, weed, chronic, blunt, whatever you want.
They good.
I'll keep it 100 in that room
Get 'em.
because I know as a substance abuse counselor, my clients, I used to have to tell them, if your ass don't want to come in here and test dirty, don't have your behind in no room where they smoking weed, because regardless of whether you smoking or not, if you sitting in that room,
Right.
it's gonna show up in your test.
Right.
And especially if you do a root test on their hair. If they had did a follicle on her hair, it probably would have showed.
That's good. That's good.
And if you
was marijuana,
you could touch, and if you touch, like if you could touch marijuana and and it get in your system.
right? So
Now, I don't know about that part. I know about
No,
the
that's true.
the
That's
cocaine and stuff like that, but I don't know about the trees.
That's true. That is true. I work with mental health.
With the marijuana now, because of the different stuff that they put on it, if you hold it in your hand, it now will get in your system.
That's bad news.
I just learned that
That's bad news.
From a friend of mine was just tested dirty, and she said, come to find out, her daughter works with cannabis. She has her own cannabis shop where she makes all these different healing medicines. And my girlfriend was helping her daughter with it. She went to the doctor and she's called me. She was like, Jay, do you know that they now can, if you hold it in your hand, they can now find out if it's in your system?
Wow.
And I didn't even know that. But the point I'm making is, why is it? Well, then they wouldn't know it was in her system because they probably didn't do a hair follicle on her to see if it was in her system. But again, like I said, you guys, the question that we really need to be asking ourselves is what time did Kenneka, was she really taken out of that room dead? Because the last person they interviewed said at 3:15 in the morning, Kenneka was still in that room alive with 4 guys and 3 other girls at 3:15.
Mm-hmm.
I sent Jasmine that picture.
And when you add up all of the time on all of that video that they've given us, Kenneka's only in there for 7 minutes worth.
Right. She's not in there much at all, because some of the clips that people think are Kenneka are not Kenneka.
Right. And on the report it says out of all that video, there's only 7 minutes of video that is actually Kenneka. That's a whole lot of video, you guys, for her to only be in it for 7 minutes.
Mom, you know what? Mom, when you think about it, I think that they could have covered it up, but them kids went live.
Yep. Yep.
They didn't expect that live stuff, because remember back in the real days of killing, and back in the days like you was talking about back earlier, think about it. It wasn't none of that social media, but see, they went live, and they just different people going live there, and that's why they couldn't cover it up, because now you're gonna investigate this mob ring. And it's not just the hotel, but now we got to look into the hotel and going through this, and it just, let's try to get it to the freezer, make it look like it's just her, and then, but come on, people ask questions. This doesn't sound right.
I'm gonna be honest. They have never produced, like, when have you known somebody to get killed? And these days people live stream and stuff all the time, but when have and get killed in public places all the time, but I have never seen them release video footage to the public. Before the case was investigated, before it was over, they had all of these files and files. And the question is, where did these videos come from in the first place?
Let me tell you guys something. Jasmine's fiance was murdered in March. It's damn near getting ready to be March again. We can't go on no website, nowhere, and pull up near conversation, near record, near nothing. And when he died, after they pronounced him dead, I specifically myself asked, when will we get a copy of his autopsy? They straight told us, you will never, ever get a copy of his autopsy, because this is a murder. It's a homicide, and that autopsy record belongs to the state of California, the county of San Bernardino. So you will never see the autopsy. We will tell you what the findings were if we need to, but you will not ever get. And that's why I'm saying this, to me, was all set up by Rosemont Police for one specific reason. They wanted to see who was gonna tell on who.
Exactly. This wasn't no. That's why I was saying this is not no cover up. This was a setup.
This was a
It was
setup.
a setup.
Hey, hello. I have a question. If anybody can hear me. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I just had a quick analogy.
Yes.
About when they were in the room before Irene started the video, you could hear a little squealing. And then she puts the music on, and seconds after she says, "What the fuck?" And it sounds like the guy says strangle her, and she puts the music back on. So that part is a little shaky to me. I listened to it over and over. I know we're past that, but somebody in that room did something to this baby.
Yeah, they know that. They know that, and all of that stuff is real. It's just that they're not gonna let us. They're playing. They're not playing us. They're playing the suspects.
Yeah. Because
and I've seen them do this plenty times before, where they played the suspect. They played the suspect, and things fall and everything falls right in place.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Like I told Jasmine and my sister earlier today, after Jasmine read all the reports to us last night. Everybody's report is too verbatim. When Jasmine was reading them to us, we thought she was reading the same exact report over and over, because everybody they interviewed, their story was exactly the same. She was sitting on the bed. She had one cup. She was putting up a bottle of Hennessy. No, she didn't smoke. No, nobody's story wavered. That's too rehearsed. It's
rehearsed.
Too rehearsed.
Mm-hmm. And they know it. And the police department knows it. They knew it.
Exactly. They know it because everybody was like right on cue. Everybody they interviewed except that one individual who said, "I don't care what you say. When I left that hotel at 3:15 that morning, the only people that were left at that hotel was Kenneka and 3 other females and 4 guys. Those were the only people that was still at that party. Nobody else said that. Nobody else said that in their interview. Everybody else's interview was exactly the same. I'm telling you guys, the police set this up. They wanted to see, and guess what? When they got everything they needed, they said, give it to them. We got what we needed now.
So do y'all think that it's trying to make us believe that it was all gang related and the hotel had nothing to do with it? I'm feeling like it went wrong. They did want to do something to Kenneka, those young guys, but when they thought she passed out or whatever, they killed her. I think one of them strangled her, and they didn't know what to do with that body. And being that Rosemont is into this organ thing, they said, okay, well, we'll help. Being that we have employees here, we have to cover this up. We don't want our name out there for murders. So that's when they took it upon themselves to intervene with whatever was going on. Okay. It's so suspicious.
The only reason I keep saying I can't go with the organ thing, and I'm gonna tell you guys why.
Right.
You're talking about $1 billion business, the Crowne Boys.
Never seen again.
$1 billion bills, if not more, true, they might be in the trillions. If those people were gonna have anything to do with organs or Kenneka wouldn't have been found on that property, period. Let me tell you guys something. We have a story right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. In 2013, a young black guy, his car stopped on the freeway. The police picked him up and drove him to a gas station in Baker, California. That boy disappeared. They found him 72 days later in the desert 1 mile from where they dropped him off with every organ in his body gone. If they was going to take Kenneka's organs, Kenneka wouldn't have been left in that hotel.
Exactly.
Well, they probably didn't have time to get out of there, being that the mom came and the friends started asking questions. So it wasn't like they had time on their side to do whatever else they were going to do.
If you go back and look at the video times, they had plenty time. They had plenty time. Even in between the time that Monifa and them called her mother and told Teresa she was missing. Teresa said herself she didn't even go over there for about an hour to an hour and a half after they called her. It don't take but a few minutes to load a body on the back of a van and pull the hell up out the parking lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
I mean, they could.
The accused organ was a thymus? I can't pronounce it, but the accused organ was a thymus or whatever. So my thing is, I think they had been listening to all these people on YouTube, and they ran with that narrative. They ran with that narrative to make these people, these suspects, think that they were in the free and the clear for the next. It might be something else that they're trying to get them on.
Let me tell you guys this, and I know this because of Jasmine's fiance and what we went through. And you guys could go research it, fact check.
Okay.
When a person dies, once their heart stops, the only thing that they can use as far as donating or harvesting is their skin, stuff like that. They can't.
And their eyes.
And their eyes. They can't use no liver. They can't use no thymus. They can't use no spleen, no colon. Right. They can't use none of that. Because once.
So we're going with the thing of it was the hotel has nothing to do with it, and those kids took her to her death.
Hold on,
because it wasn't an accident.
Finish. You gotta finish.
Wasn't an accident.
Jay, you won't finish. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
When a person dies. We learned this after what we went through with Jasmine's fiance, because all of his organs were donated. In order for them to even be able to use his organs, they had to keep him alive on life support for 6 to 7 days after he had been pronounced dead. The body has to be at a certain temperature. They had to keep, it's a process. Once a person's heart stops, their organs are of no use to anyone. They cannot be used for anything. The only thing on the body that can be used once a person is died is their eyes and their skin. That's it. That's it. So if they were going to use her skin, they would have took her body up out of there. Because that's all they would have been able to use. Her heart had stopped.
And that's why they were, like a lot of these YouTubers, they really made themselves look really foolish and, like ignorant, saying a lot of the things that they were saying online, and the police went right along with it.
Yeah. So why don't we have an arrest? What is the holdup? If
they're not there yet. They're not there yet. That we're still waiting for reports to come back. It's just like people were looking for results before the toxicology and the autopsy came back. The first one came back.
Excuse me. I think a lot of people right now are late in the chat and on the panel because we've been talking about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff broken. Jazz, you might have to take it back and hold on. You might have to take it back and show them what you got going. And Alicia, she has some information. She's still in your chat.
For those of you guys who just tuned in, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you guys who just tuned in, this is our third segment. So they've had me on a YouTube binge today. Okay?
Right.
Since we opened up the wanted posters, I was getting ready to log on right before I saw the wanted posters, and that just took us into a whole new topic of discussion. So for those of you guys who just tuned in, we're talking about the Kenneka Jenkins case. We have completely been able to go through the case files, so we're basically discussing everything that we have been able to identify throughout the reports that Rosemont Police has revealed to us. So again, for the person who just tapped into the hangout, Right now, from what we can see, they actually have 5 people that they are looking for in relation to the death that happened at the Rosemont Hotel.
Okay.
So for certain topics, and this isn't for you, this is just for everybody in the room. For certain topics, if there's certain things that you see that we're not touching on, and you feel that we're ignoring your comments in the comment box, 9 times out of 10, it's because we have already discussed that part of the case and we have moved past it, so we're not going to double back. So feel free to go over the last 2 channels and take a look at those. I did post the Hangout link in the chat, so if anybody would like to come on to join the conversation, I'll be on here for another maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes at the max. So if you want to come have something to say, please feel free to join the Hangout. The link is in the box.
Now, okay, what I was going to say, back to this whole, now we're gonna alleviate the Oregon thing, you guys, because I'm serious. Them people was not trying to take. It's like, what do you guys think that they all of a sudden? Okay, there's a young black girl in there. We gonna take her organs. I just, when people are doing that kind of stuff, they have a movement that they go through, a process. They're not sloppy with their stuff. Kenneka's body wouldn't have been left in that hotel. There wouldn't have been nothing to even point back to them at that hotel. Okay, they would have never even let any of this footage out. Like I said, I believe that the Rosemont police, once they realized that there were people talking via social media, they felt like, if we're gonna catch somebody, this is the way we're gonna be able to do it quicker than if we just go out there on foot and do it. So we're gonna go ahead and let them hang out in these YouTube rooms and on this live, and we're gonna let them do they talking and they investigating. Because I'm gonna tell you what, I read where one officer came back and said out of his own mouth that, believe it or not, it was unbelievable to see the intelligence and how much effort people were putting in and the things that they were coming up with that was literally helping them. And an officer said that. There was an officer that said that.
So when the suspects is gang members, that the people are not going to turn on.
Right.
They know it.
And I think with Irene, I really believe that Irene, between all of us in this room, I believe Irene is the one that did and gave up the most information, because Irene ain't in Chicago no more. Irene is not in Chicago.
Did you say that because she was at the police department that day?
No, she went.
She went straight to the police department.
She went, and I believe Irene is under police protection. I believe she's under police protection.
Let me just hashtag fact check that for y'all. If you what I'll do today after I get some sleep, I'm gonna go through I'm gonna touch on the points that we all talked on today where I wasn't able to visually show you the fact checks. But there is a police report that's in the records that advised that Irene has left Chicago and moved to another location. So Irene is no longer in Chicago. The 2 people that left is Irene left Chicago and the security guard has left the country.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He was the first one. The security guard was the first one.
Correct. In the interrogation.
So now this makes me believe that it's a. Oh, go ahead.
In the interrogation, when they interrogated the security guard, the security guard advised the police that he was leaving the country September 22nd. They interviewed him on September 19th, and by the 22nd, he was on the plane leaving the country.
But they said that at the beginning. See, people haven't been listening because they actually said that at the beginning, like at the beginning of the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they tried to get that body away from that room and they rode it on that cart, whoever was pushing the cart or mopping up, like there's a little bit of everybody tampering with the evidence going on there, and accomplice to murder.
So in order to have enough stuff to take to court to convict someone, then you need some things going. And so they're not going to mess up their things. They're not going to mess up they're not going to let YouTube mess up their things. This is like a lot of people like on YouTube was like, why ain't Teresa saying anything, or why this person ain't saying anything? Because they're not going to mess up their case to talk to YouTube.
Okay, so if the security left and Irene left, they're not considered suspects then, because they wouldn't let you leave the country if you're considered a suspect. So they're not considered suspects if they were allowed to leave under an investigation going on.
Okay, you have to also remember,
and this thing has to be bigger than this girl just dying. Kids die every day, but why is it that we're focusing on this particular one? Is because of something special with this, that nobody can sleep at night. I can't sleep, I know that. I mean, what is the big issue with it, that big people are leaving the place and this girl died? I mean, if it was just some gang thing, all right, arrest the people. Somebody higher is pulling strings around here.
It's advisable that everybody involved in the YouTube case investigation gets some sleep. It is advised.
Yes.
It is advised that everybody gets some sleep.
Exactly. And when I'm end it on this one note. I think this is a good takeaway, going off of whoever that was that just said something about this is a higher up.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, so let me just say, we spoke on this earlier, and let me tell you my opinion. This is Jasmine, your host. How you doing? My personal opinion is, I don't think this had anything to do with going higher as far as when they killed her. I believe what happened was Rosemont did not realize that this death was going to hit social media and be so big.
Right.
When they went out, they thought they had another little black girl that ended up dead, and they were not going to invest the time in it to do a proper investigation.
Right.
Right.
They didn't sloppy. They didn't consider it a homicide. They considered it accidental. They called themselves, call it accidental, go ahead and do away with it. Let's go on to the next crime. However, so we had already snatched this situation up and started to put them under a microscope. Now it's too late. Now they got to clean it up. Now it's like, okay, wait a minute. The world sees that this was not accidental. The world sees that this was a homicide. Now what are we going to do? We made it, to us it didn't sound, it didn't. First of all, let me explain something to you. This is not, I hope I do not offend anybody when I say this, but the moment you hear a black girl that is 19 died in a freezer, that was suspect to a whole lot of black people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't just go in freezers like that.
Because that is not the way we commit crimes.
That is not something normal that happens. So it automatically raised our antennas, which made us start to look into the case. Anything else, if she would have been shot in the streets, we'd have been like, oh, wow, that's terrible. Dang, 19. Oh, well, wait a minute. A little black girl died in the freezer. That's like telling me a little black girl drowned in the middle of the ocean. Wait a minute.
Yeah. But in all honesty, the day after this happened, I listened to the videos that Irene posted. I called the Chicago Police Department. They act very unconcerned. I mean, it took me 3 hours to just get a detective on the line. And they said, okay, well, then, all right, that's it. And hung up. And it was like, all right.
It didn't take me
3 hours.
Okay. Let me just say this. Normally, I don't have personal business out in the streets. But sometimes you got to share things in order for people to understand certain things. There was some years ago when I was around Kenneka's age that I got caught up in some mess, something similar to this, on a murder charge. Okay, you guys need to understand. I know how the police operate very well. I know what they will and won't do. I know what they will say and won't say in order to catch who they want to catch. As far as Irene is concerned, I'm not saying Irene is being let go. I'm saying I believe Irene was their biggest source of information. Irene was giving something in exchange for what she gave them.
Yeah.
We'll put you in police protection. We'll make sure your family is safe. If you give us this, we'll make sure you don't do this. We'll make sure that you don't have to. The security guard could have told them, check it out, listen. Yes, I gave them a card. I didn't know what they were going to put on that card, but I gave them a card. I gave them this. Okay, sir, this is what we're going to do for you. You give us what
sounds right.
and then we'll go ahead and let you leave the country to make sure you don't come up dead. Okay, so we really don't know how the police is playing their cards with these people and what these people have told them or haven't told them. What I
And we don't know if they're connected with another murder, connected with another, if the same crew is not under investigation for another murder.
And let's look at it like this. They didn't walk away with 5 suspects and got one of them restored.
Right, they ain't done talking.
Okay, somebody sat in the room and gave them information. We already seen in the case now what they did lineup. People was telling, people was talking. And we don't know who was in there talking. We don't know who identified who. Somebody told the police that they were all a part of the Vice Lords. That's the no-no.
Didn't somebody say earlier that that the Vice Lords was the biggest gang in Chicago?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guess what? The reality is somebody pointed out these 5 individuals that they have one posters for.
Big names, real names.
You guys, not here.
So the hotel covered it up. The hotel covered it up because they messing up their legitimate business, and that this death is messing up their illegal business. The police are covering it up because they like, look, we didn't have undercovers in the Vice Lord for about 2 years, and we were just about to crack this case. We were about to get the plug, and this little black girl is messing up this whole for us to bring this whole gang in, or get the top
It's true. It's like a mob.
Because you got to keep in mind how many deaths.
And we can't, so we're going to pay Teresa off, and we're going to promise her to get those little kids.
And they're not going to talk while we investigating.
Right, because you got to keep in mind that they've been talking about all these different deaths that's been happening in Chicago in the first place that's been gang related.
And then they're going to get some information from one of them, and then they're like going back to check it and ask the next person about the story they just got from the other person. It's a lot of investigating. And if you think about it, think about like movies and stuff in which you have to do. You have to maneuver around, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. When usually in situations like this, they don't care nothing about those little corner boys. They don't want those little corner boys. They want the big guy.
Yeah, they want the big dogs.
If they arrest these little kids right here that was at this party, they just getting the corner boys.
Hello? I told you they've been on investigation for something. You guys got happen.
Go ahead, Mama P. Mama J.
I was gonna say, for real, I've been.
Wait a minute, you guys. She was over here like, hello. Finally, she turned around and looked at me. She said,
"Hey, Mama T.
Wait, you guys. Wait, hold on." She looked at me. She said,
"Hey, Mama T.
Yes.
Mama T, when we get off the phone, I want you to whoop Jasmine.
Okay.
Because, wait a minute, because I got 34 and 35-year-olds, and they think that just because they're that old, now they can tell me about the sneaky stuff they did when they were younger. And Jasmine been doing that all night. So I want you to show her that you still remember about something that happened 20 years ago.
Don't worry, y'all. As soon as we get this Kenneka Jenkins case solved, please believe me, we're gonna have the new room where I'm gonna tell y'all about all the shit Jasmine done did over the years. Okay, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled at all. Don't let her fool you at all.
Jasmine, you gonna be sitting there eating breakfast in the morning, and she gonna be looking at you like, so you was sneaking out the house when you was 15, huh?
But this is what I was getting ready to tell you guys. I don't know. Did any of you guys hear the speech, not speech, or the talk that our number 45, the current president of the United States, no, it's not about Obama. This is something Trump said. Trump did a speech. This has been about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, when he told them that they have got to shut Chicago down because the vice lords are now larger than the mob. They got millions of dollars that they are trafficking through Chicago, Illinois. That's why he wants to have that sanction moved off of Chicago, because right now, if it was Donald Trump, Chicago would be under martial law. Martial law, because they want all those people off the streets. And I'm
something
they look
like, but plus that's Obama.
Let her finish. Please let her finish.
He want to be able to tell Obama, yeah, I had to clean your city up.
But when you go back and look at all of those people's Facebook pages before they start shutting them down and deactivating them, all of them, they're on there with massive amount of weapons, drugs, thousands of dollars in their hand. Y'all don't think the police ain't trying to get them?
A prostitution ring.
That's good. That's good, Mama J.
Let me tell you this too. This is something else that people haven't considered either. Because I'm like Mama J. I dig into everything political, and I surround everything into everything. But what a lot of people don't know is that the vice lords are connected to a lot of religious Islamic organizations or religions.
But not only religious, baby. Go back and do more investigating. The vice lords are very connected to the FBI and the CIA and the government. You got
for generations on generations.
They're just like the mob. They got people. Me and my sister watched a documentary where they had a police that worked for the police department, had been working for them for like 20-something years, and they finally came in and found out that he was the one that was trafficking the weapons and the dope vice lords, and was getting paid. They was paying that man hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. He would bring them in like he was arresting them. He would work them right back out the system. They bring another one in, they work them out, and what they do is bring them in, and they get the information that's going to lead them to the big boy, and then they let the little boy go. This is all the reason this thing has gotten so big to the person that asked that question, because they're not only looking at solving Kenneka's case, they're looking at they have found out about other murders that have taken place that then people were involved in. They know they're involved in a drug ring. They know, and that's the kind of stuff that Teresa Martin was hoping they didn't get a hold of, because it is a known fact that Kenneka was involved in. He was a gang of. Kenneka, we cannot run from that. Kenneka was heavily gang affiliated. She was a gang member.
To be honest with you, it's hard not to be in certain neighborhoods in Chicago. It's hard not to be gang affiliated.
And listen,
I agree.
That song is in the river somewhere. I'm telling you that right now.
I said in certain neighborhoods.
I'm sure they'll find a lot of bodies in the river too, since you mentioned that.
I was saying that phone is in the ocean somewhere. She didn't throw that away.
But now I also read and picked on something else about Kenneka and Monica and them to another individual's page. It wasn't on theirs. But from what I picked up and was reading, they were also carriers. They transported. They were carriers. And from what I read is Kenneka was supposed to be doing a job, but she backed out of it. She decided that she didn't want to do it. And the individuals that she was involved with was pissed off because they felt like she knew too much information. She had too much information. You can't get involved with them kind of people and then start backing out. Because now that's like you become a threat. You become a threat to them.
And they target young girls. They target young girls because young girls don't be on the police radar.
Who is this?
The most that the police would think of those young girls is prostitution.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
And
a question. So, y'all think that's the other, that was the guy who was bringing her in? That was the other guy that got killed? And when she didn't do it, they killed her?
she just asked you.
Thank you, because I could not hear what you had just said. I promise.
All I heard was shower wall.
I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to cut nobody off. I'm like, Craig, Dave, muted.
Yeah, I know who
No,
it
I
was,
was
right?
thinking y'all think that that's the reason why dude got killed, because he was the one who was bringing Kenneka along, and she backed out, and they killed him and her.
Maybe.
Anything is possible. It could be that, or it could be for other things as well.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying,
Right.
that in situations like that, if you bring a person in and let's say they end up being a dirty cop or a snitch or something like that, they killed them and you too.
Well, that's
You the
possible too.
connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if you ask
Yeah,
me,
but
do
not
I think
that's
that
we do too many possibilities though.
if you ask me, do
We
I
dealing with
think
a
that
game.
yeah, if you ask me, do I think like if you're asking me, do I think dude was killed due to something of this case? Yes, but yes, I do. But for the specific reason, I would know. And if you ask me if other people would be killed due to this case, yes. If they had put if too much information had gotten out on this case, there would be a lot of bodies right now.
All y'all going to hell with gasoline bars on, so you supposed to be up getting dressed for
In my defense, all I was saying is there's a lot of possibilities. We really can't pinpoint everything, but we do know that there's, I don't want to use the word mob, but we know that there's a big fish out there that has a posse, a gang. I don't want to go too deep into all that because that ain't for me.
And I'm a little concerned about our buddy.
Yeah, but we gotta look and see how we can keep people united. And and with Rico, that's one person that we really, like she said, we need to look and make sure he's all right though.
Exactly.
Because he has really tried to get involved a lot, and I didn't realize he was doing so much until I had a chance to talk to him.
Well, I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 strong people on this panel. What we need to do is just embrace him and try to keep him uplifted and just try to lace his boots. We all have the experience, the knowledge. We just need to stick together, lace his boots a little bit. My personal opinion, because I've already expressed my opinion to him, is the freedom fighters. That's not his battle. That's not for him. But he has to wake up and realize that. When he wakes up and realizes that, then he'll be A-okay, and he can, stray off and do your own thing. You want to be the voice for the voiceless? No problem. But right now, I'm sorry, but the freedom fighters just got way too much going on at this current moment.
And Jediah need to come talk to you.
Yeah. So for anybody out there, y'all send Jedediah an email when he goes live and tell him I said Jasmine would like to talk to him on her show. We would love to put him on this panel and get some real. We want to hear what's really going on with the freedom
interrogation.
Hey, look, and Jazz the type, she can get him on the line right now if she wanted to.
Right.
I'm sure.
3 degrees of separation.
I felt so bad because I dropped a call on Rico. I got a text message.
But
I said, you got quiet. You got quiet. I thought you said, he said, come back. I got a question for you. He said, for what? For them to all jump on me like they just did.
But look, Jedediah, Jasmine is the type that Jedediah knows not to. You're gonna have to trick him because Jedediah knows. No, he knows who to talk to and who not to.
No, we're not showing our tactics. But I'm gonna tell you, Jedediah, you need to come see us. I'm not. Jasmine need to talk to you, but me, I need to have a word with you about you jacking my lyrics. I still believe you jack my style. He's a swagger jacker. I just want to say that, and I'm gonna go back on mute.
Doing these lyrics.
We all had a great morning. We have had a great night that led into morning. We have had 3 shows back to back. I'm giving everybody in here homework. For those of you guys that are on the panel, if you have my email and you don't have the files that are zipped, because I would love to send them to you so that we could talk more in detail about what we see in the case. Send me an email and I will set up a shared drive so that we can all see the files at the same time. So we don't have to keep going through the website to dig through them. We can all view them at the same time. So send me an email and I'll start a shared drive sometime today. I will more than likely, if I get some rest now, I can get back online a little later on today. It's probably not going to be that late, but it'll be mid-time. It's Sunday, so it won't be on that long. But I enjoyed talking to everybody. Please make sure you guys add me so that you guys can come back in when I go live again. Everybody that's in the chat room, I'm sorry. This is our first panel discussion, so if you had comments, questions, or concerns, I apologize if we didn't get to what you guys were saying because we were so consumed in what we were talking about. But again, you guys just make sure that you stay in contact with me. Send your emails and your contact information so we can all link up because like I said, I have a nonprofit. So if we can get together and do something in the locations that you guys are in, let's just link up and start making some changes immediately.
Oh, you know what? Well, no. It's funny that you said that because I don't live far from you. And I love you and your mama. And I haven't had a chance to meet your auntie.
All right now. Well, yeah, but I'm serious because we're actually feeling we're putting people in the right position in the board right now. It's really originated out of Pittsburgh because my dad played for the Pirates, Oakland A's, and the Texas Rangers. So we made it in honor of him. So we do have a couple of contracts where we're getting ready to do some business with some people. But if we can get people in different locations, we can really start making some moves. So you guys reach out to me, the people on
I'm in the same location.
I'm adding mine right now.
Okay. You're in Vegas?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, so you guys just make sure that you lock in my email, send me your email, send me your contact information. We'll link up online. Huh?
Jasmine, what is your email address?
Yeah, I'm not too far from you either, Jasmine, because when you said San Bernardino, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. My email address is JASMINEM as in Mary, Lee, LEE, 1982 @gmail.com.
Oh, I just figured out why you didn't get my emails. Oops.
You sent it to the wrong email address. Crazy.
Jazz.
I forgot the M in your name. You said middle initial M?
Yes.
I'm going to send you an email on
Hangouts.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I'm going to send you an email. I mean, a personal message on Hangouts.
Okay.
And I do graphics. I'm a graphic designer. If you need, email me.
Girl, I'm gonna send you my link so you can see the website I built. I build websites too, so we can definitely link up.
All right, I put mine in the group chat.
Okay,
thank you guys so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
I love you and Mama. I love you.
Yeah. And as I end the show, I love everybody and make sure you say your prayers. Bye.
Bye.